All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Semi-Perfect Podcast here on this May 29th, 2019 evening. Oh man, we got a lot to talk about. Two different conventions were essentially covered in the last 2 weeks, kind of split down the middle. Half of us were at Everfree Northwest, the other half were at MomoCon. We'll hear stories from both. I'm very curious to hear about
most
MomoCon.
of us were at MomoCon.
Half.
1/3 was at Everfree, and then 2/3 were at.
We had to divide and conquer.
Cracking down on me. So
PanamaMatt's like, oh.
Well, let's do our intros. Hirosashii in the house.
Hirosashii's in his house.
Okay.
Laura.
Hello.
Mine.
PaleoSteno.
I thought you said
What?
Halo.
PaleoSteno. That's his rapper name.
Oh,
Say hi, Paleo.
I'm here.
Dolphins are the best.
Give me some of those funky fresh rhymes.
What's the story on that?
What?
The whole like Paleo posts on Twitter.
Oh, so here we'll tell you a few introductions. How about that?
Okay. PanamaMatt.
Bonjour.
It's funny. I was reading the last name. I'm like Toodles.
Who's that?
Sarah.
Hello.
And I'm ACRacebest. Welcome into the Semi-Perfect Podcast. We anticipate at some point that we'll be joined by Gabriel Brown, as much as we usually anticipate that we'll be joined by Gabriel Brown during this podcast. So he was at the podcast panel at Everfree Northwest, and he was on time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
He hasn't accepted my invitation into this server yet, so he's gonna get into the other one and be like, "Nobody's
Oh
here."
God! So I should have my phone near me. All right.
Yep.
So I want to hear about this story because Paleo posted something about like a Gucci in bed.
So Paley and I are we're idiots, and like he's been visiting a lot at my house these last couple of months, and we'll just hang out. And when we go out, we just I don't know. We've hit this level of friendship where we just sound like idiots, and that's just our entertainment. So I think we went to Taco Bell. And I think this is where it began, where I was like, "Yeah, I'll buy you dinner." And I'm like, "What do you want?" He's like, "I want a burrito." And I'm like, "What do you want? You want a burrito?" Like, and Paleo was just all but too kind to oblige. So like, I can only imagine the people in intercom hear us talking, like, "How was the taco waka taco? You want the taco waki? A cheesy weezy?" And it's just like two sad 30-year-old losers just making baby sounds in the Taco Bell at 2 a.m. So yeah, and then Pam made a tweet about it to make it sound like he's fucking me too. So
Look, see, let's be real for a second. In that exact same Taco Bell at the exact same time, given the time you were at Taco Bell, you probably weren't the only two 30-year-olds making baby sounds at each other.
yeah, the other two are working there.
You go through the drive.
Would you like a hot sauce or the hotsy sauce? And then Fluttershy's passed. We're gonna do the baby voice, and we're like, "Yay!"
Oh man, and we'll also be discussing the My Little Pony episodes.
Let's do a rundown of this episode's itinerary, because I think like we all of us got a lot to talk about.
We
Yeah.
do.
A
So
lot of ground cover.
not in this exact order, but we'll be, of course, going over our food posts here at the beginning. Like we said, we got both conventions to discuss, Everfree Northwest and MomoCon. And then we have the episodes, 2 episodes that we're going to be catching up on. Did I already say the episodes? You gave me a look. Why are you still giving me a
No,
look?
I'm not giving you a look. I'm paying attention to something else.
Oh.
And then
And yes, topics. And we'll be discussing. We're going to want to hear some stories about Hawaii, if you guys want to share, which we haven't asked yet. If you do, but too bad. We'll also be discussing, because we've given it some time here. We'll probably see if we could get some time to talk about Avengers.
Yeah,
because we've purposely been holding off on that, and we'll You have a spoiler card for
Yes,
it, don't
I do.
you? Yes.
I have a very special.
Then we'll also talk about a release date for a thing coming out and jump into Q&A. So, yeah.
And if y'all have anything y'all want to add, feel free.
Feel free, by all means. So, Sarah, we can jump into food posts right now.
Yes.
They look really good this week, except for one particular. There's one particular that looks really, really good.
Yeah. All right, first up, we got Anime Guy. My sister and I made some pasta with mozzarella and white American cheese with some ground sirloin.
White American cheese.
White American cheese.
Okay, I like it.
I was at a Subway once, and I was in line, and I was ordering my sandwich, of course, and they're like, "What kind of cheese do you want?" And I was sitting next to a black guy, and I said white American, and I felt like, I don't know why, but like that really bothered me. Where I'm like, can we please come up with a better name for this cheese? Like,
Whenever I go to Subway, they just say American.
No, well, I guess
Not white American.
Maybe
Well,
it's
American
Georgia.
tends to be yellow.
Yeah, right.
And
So
then
they
there's
say,
white American.
And then there's a white, much like
Yeah, but they don't have
do not-
yellow.
I do not like it.
I'm hoping when Saber made this order, he also was like,
Moxie.
Saber, did you request black pepper just to be like, there, now I've covered my bases.
There you go. And yellow mustard, whatever. So, no, but legit though, I don't know why they call it that besides the obvious. Like, it actually makes a lot of sense. Whatever, fucking move on. Why'd you bring this up?
I want.
Move on.
By the way, when we get to it, because we're going in order, when we get to the food post that you say looks super good, I want you to jump in and introduce.
Oh
it, okay?
yeah. I'm right there with you. I'm scrolling.
All right. So
I feel bad for Laura because majority of this food's like cheese covered.
Oh my
She's
god!
probably like,
And we'll get into that in a second.
I mean,
here.
it's not like I have to eat it. It's fine. I can appreciate people enjoying their lives.
Sarah,
That's true.
I almost said Sarah. Laura, at what point did you realize in life that you didn't like cheese?
I think I was fine with it as a kid, but as I got older, I just like realized having food that normally has cheese on it without cheese on it, I was like, wow, I like this a lot more. And then I think, so I'm not sure if I developed my lactose issue like later in life, and that had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like a subconscious thing where I was like, oh, I kind of feel like bloated and gross after eating this, and I just didn't make the association because I was a stupid kid. But like, I never really loved it or anything.
Yeah.
Oh man, I cannot relate to not loving cheese.
On a similar strain, Race yesterday asked me to smell his milk to see if it smelled good, and I'm like, I'm not the best person.
Yeah, of all
because
the people that-
I don't, I don't drink milk, and I also do not find milk that appealing.
Look,
as far
all
as
right.
like by itself, the smell of it is not appealing.
I trust you with my
Agree.
life. I married you.
Yeah.
All right. That means that like everything that I used to be like mom or dad or anybody in life that has any better idea of something that won't kill me that I'm about to eat now falls onto your shoulders.
Yeah.
Now it's just Sarah.
You got chanted. All right. What's next? What's the next one?
Got Soren got my glass of whole milk to drink, and to eat I have pasta with sausage, mushroom, and tomato sauce with Parmesan cheese. Absolutely delicious.
There's a good amount of cheese on this.
But first, Sarah has to smell that glass of milk.
Yeah, I have to make sure that it's not
Make sure it's good.
Look how rustic this all looks with
Yeah.
the table.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fancy.
All right. Oh, this is probably the Saberspark one, right?
This is okay. So this is the one where I was scrolling through food posts a little bit early, and I told Race, Ritz Roll looks a little bit like a young version of my Uncle Randy. It's funny to me. So we got Ritz Roll. By the moment you finish reading this, I've already eaten it. I'm snacking on an Oreo ice cream bar
Gabe's here,
for
Race.
tonight.
You want to get on with him? He is indeed wondering why the podcast Discord is empty.
He's here.
Okay.
Everyone point and laugh.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, send him the thing.
Yeah. I'm going
All
to
right,
send him
all right,
another
all right.
invite. I've invited him like 3 times.
An invite is coming.
Hey, where's everybody?
I'm just imagining like who's line at BronyCon.
Oh yeah, he's not my friend, so
Like Gabe just wanders in on Saturday and is just like, how do I get out of the crowd? How do I get on the stage? I'm like, sorry.
You
Then
don't.
I'm gonna go to James Baxter. All right, let's see. I need to-
Tell everybody our secret. He's in the podcast channel all by himself.
oh, no.
Help him.
I am trying to.
I'm gonna go in there and tell him.
You have to click it.
But okay, hold on.
No.
Thank you,
No, I
Paleo,
just
for throwing
wanna-
yourself on that one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
do
if you want some of
Yeah.
that grenade.
Thank you.
All right. There you go, Gabe. We have sent you what you need.
And Paleo is on his way to talk you in.
Oh man. Okay. What's the next one? What's our next food?
It's that
Oh,
one.
is this the one, Saber? Is this the one you were excited about?
What?
The sausages.
Looks pretty good. Potato wedges, cheese. That is some fucking cheese or
That is some
freaking.
hefty cheese.
Yeah, there's some cheese in there. This actually looks pretty good. Norse Brony, you're living up to your name.
You know, there is a lot of cheese going on tonight.
Yeah. There's a cheese everywhere, like almost everywhere, except for the bottle of water.
Must be a
Um,
sign of the podcast to come.
I gotta say though, Morgan's food. This some Morgan post in there. Oh, that's cauliflower rice. That's why it looks so different. Interesting. Nice side salad. You can see the spice rack back there. Huh? Looks pretty dang good.
Oh,
I would
fried-
love to see it, but I'm waiting for Sarah
We're gonna get
to
It's,
scroll up.
I thought that was cheese. It actually might be egg, which is fascinating. Oh, there he is.
Okay,
I was
we
trying
got
to do an important thing. I was giving him a roll.
What is
God.
Gabe?
There he is.
Greetings, Gabe. How are you?
Oh, hi. I'm alive and well. How are you?
Good.
We got a packed house here tonight.
Yeah.
We didn't intentionally leave you sitting in an empty room.
It was an accident.
Of course you didn't.
Completely
Yes.
unintentional.
All right, so now we're getting to Morgan's, which is the one Saber was just talking about here,
Okay.
with the. So yeah, that does look like egg.
Egg.
What is it? Egg. Bulgogi.
Egg.
Nice.
It's a Korean dish.
What is bulgogi?
It's a Korean dish.
It's good, is what it is.
Is it a Korean dish?
I think
It
it's
is a
Italian.
think so.
Korean dish. It is. It sure isn't.
To which one is it not?
It's Korean.
It's Mexican.
You can't say that. By the way, Cadet Redshirt just sent us a super chat. Thank you,
Thank you.
Cadet.
Thank you.
Cadet was also at Everfree Northwest. We got to hang.
Woot.
All right, and then let's see what we got next here. A couple more. I do see that once again Taylor's did not end up in here, so
Yeah,
we'll
so
have
we'll
to
look in the
search.
notification.
Railroad Brony says tonight for the semi-perfect podcast got stuffed crust cheese pizza with my lemonade. Pizza is the best with stuffed cheese.
Dude, I was upset as a kid because I always wanted the stuffed crust like pizza, and my family would never order it. And I was like, "Are we poor?" Like, I'm not joking. I was like, "Are we poor? Can we not afford it?" And then my dad's like, "I don't know. Like, we're going on trips to Disney World." And I'm like, "This doesn't make sense. Why? Where is the cheese crust? I know we can afford it."
That's how they afforded Disneyland, is they didn't get the cheese
Yeah.
crust.
What am I thinking? No wonder why I
You had
can't
to
go to
pick
Disney World. Yeah, cheese crust. That's a tough call. That's good though.
I'll say this: when I was younger, so a kid, I remember like the first few times I had the stuffed crust, I didn't understand that it was stuffed with cheese, and the cheese they stuff it with, I guess, like to describe it as it tastes a little bit sweeter.
Mhm.
And I used to think that it wasn't cheese stuffed bread. I thought they put like a pancake at the end of. I don't know why. I don't know how this logic worked out in my head, but
Hey man, kid logic.
I got one for you though. So I remember this is like back in like 2016 or 15. I think it was like late 2015, and I was in a Discord chat or a Skype chat with like I forget what it was, but I was chatting with like Paleo and Final Draft jumped in, And Final Draft is a horrible influence in general, but especially with pizza. And like Pizza Hut introduced this new stuffed crust hot dog pizza crust. And I
Ew.
remember like, yeah, because I remember like in their ad, it had like pizza with yellow mustard nearby, and it's like that's disgusting.
Ew.
I'll have one. And I remember, no, I ordered it because Draft's like, yeah, you should do it, you know. And I remember eating like half of it, and afterwards I started feeling really sick, and I was like, oh my
piggy in a
god.
blanket crust.
Yeah,
Ew.
like, yellow mustard doesn't belong anywhere near pizza, but I tried it
Yeah.
anyway, and it was really bad combination of flavor.
Saber, I would have been right there with you.
I knew you would. You're like my co-pilot.
Holding hands right off the cliff on the way to the bathroom.
Going as we feed each other our pizza, going,
That's my paleo. It's our thing.
we got Rosie Diamond saying, enjoying tonight's semi-perfect podcast with some ginger lime ice. I also sent you guys a message if you want to share, but certainly don't feel like you have. I'm realizing I'm reading all this stuff that they're like, oh, by the way, there's a message if you want to read it. But glad to tune in tonight.
Yeah, so just like an update for folks that we learned at Everfree that Rosie's been kind of in poor health lately, so send all your love to Rosie.
Feel better, Rosie.
Better.
Indeed.
Was that the message?
That wasn't the message. I don't know if I read it. I don't know if we should.
Okay, I was just.
Like
she says if
she's
you want
like,
to.
okay,
We will leave it up to your sound discretion, Sarah.
I'll leave it up to you, Sarah.
okay.
But obviously,
Because
like
they're
the big important thing with all of it is that it sounds like Rosie's doing.
A little bit better. Still haven't gotten a diagnosis, is what she
Okay.
kind of. But there's a bunch of different things that it could be. So yeah.
All right. Next, onward, Sarah.
Cadet Red Shirt, reason number 1 and number 2 why I'm late to the semi-perfect podcast. My SPP Foods pick of tilapia, green beans, Spanish rice, and tears.
Like a computer broke.
That's a lovely blue screen of death you have right there. On the plus
The-
side, the tilapia looks
I feel so bad because she just got this new monitor and now her computer's broken. Oh
It
no.
sucks.
Sounds like my days at work. Oh boy.
Well, I mean, apparently she got it either working or she's watching off of a different device.
I'm hoping she got it working.
Yeah.
I'm loving these trends for you on the side
Yeah.
here. How like it goes from like soccer to impeach the president. Oh boy. Princess Deadpool, leftover pizza with podcast on and binge watching Star Versus in the background. That's a lot going on at once.
That is.
And then gonna put on Aladdin to cleanse the taste of the remake out of my body. 2 hours of my life I'm not getting back. Interesting. I've actually been hearing pretty good things about Aladdin.
I have to.
Funny enough. Did someone
Really?
just die?
Might
It-
have.
It surprisingly has a good audience score at the moment, but I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I thought you were gonna say like, oh, it's surprisingly not that bad. I was like, you shut your
Oh,
mouth,
no.
Paleo. We watched
I mean-
clip together.
It's Prince
remember the
Ali,
clip
fabulous
we watched?
Alibaba.
Remember
He's
the
probably
clip
not
we
Princess
watched?
Jasmine. What's
Well,
not
remember
together
the
about
clip we
Aladdin?
watched at MomoCon?
Yeah.
Of a friend like me and everything. That's
Yeah, that
that's
was
the best part
terrible.
of the movie.
No, it
That's embarrassing.
isn't.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wait, did you say it's not
Oh,
even
my
part of the
friend.
movie?
Told me.
Huh?
said it's
No,
the best
best
part
No,
part
it's
of
the
the
best part of the movie.
Oh.
As in which.
which
And
is
it's terrible.
yeah.
We're gonna see it next week.
Mr.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your name?
And we're gonna enjoy it, Sarah.
Are we?
Yes, just like Saber enjoyed his hot
I
dog pizza.
accidentally clicked
Wow.
broadcast.
Destroyed the podcast.
No one's broadcasting hashtag SPP Food. Okay, we got.
All right, we got 3 more. Achieve Hunter saying, "Have you ever tried Gummy Fun Mix?" I have not.
No.
I'm not familiar with it.
I remember one time I was like, when I was a kid, Flintstone kids like were left out for my sisters and me, and I took all 3 one time. I had 2 sisters, and in the morning car, like my sisters were like, they're like, "You ate our Flintstone kids, now you're gonna die of overdose." And I started freaking out. I was like, "No, no!"
By the way, I just want to give a quick shout out. I just saw Brony Dance Party in the chat. So
Oh.
Yeah.
good to see BDP. BDP.
It's a blue boy lightning eating trolley gummies while working on some siren art. Hope you guys enjoyed the badges for Everfree West. Still in the post-con depression, but still doing well.
Yo, let me get that Adagio print when you're done with it, of course.
dude.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
And I give you money, obviously.
And thank you for the badges. They
Yes.
were awesome.
We enjoy them a lot.
Yes. And by the way, there's been an evolution of these food posts where we went from like super cheesed out food to
Yeah.
gummies.
To get
Yeah. All right.
Which one?
Sarah,
Which one will gum me up more? Is the question.
The
Don't answer that.
sugar-free Haribo gummy bears.
That will just clean you right out.
Here's
Yeah.
Nora's. Oops.
I love
Whoa.
Too big. Okay. Nora, having a healthy rice bowl while I'm finishing up packing my room before I move into my new apartment this week. Have I forgotten to pack anything? Let me know.
Congratulations on the new apartment.
Oh.
Yeah, good luck on your move.
Yeah.
You've forgotten to pack the laptop, and it looks like a picture on the wall, and
There's a lot of stuff not in boxes yet.
Yes. We saw Nora at Everfree Northwest.
Yeah.
She actually took part in the
In the
Who's line?
design. Yeah, that was fun.
Oh yeah, we watched that.
Yeah. Let's see.
Surprise guest.
right? It even surprised us. There's Taylor's
Taylor.
saying going a little different than some tonight. Fixed up some chicken a la vodka.
What?
Whoa.
Farfalle.
21 plus.
Santa Rosa 1917 wine.
My God, look at this! Like
Classy.
he's
Well
like
done,
at a
Taylor.
Michelin star restaurant watching the Semi Perfect podcast.
I mean, where else would you watch it?
There's some good eating
Right.
right there.
All right,
That's only
so-
acceptable if you're not using headphones, because you have to make everyone else hear it too.
Mm-hmm. It's how you create the ambiance necessary to cultivate the star.
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, didn't fully introduce him earlier, but Black Griffin, welcome in.
Hi. Hey, can you guys hear me? I hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
I'm having a good old time, grand old time. I may not be here very long because I'm about to record some music with my brother, but that's just
Is he
how it
cutting out
goes.
for
You all
everybody
know.
else?
Yeah,
you
Well,
can.
yeah.
For everyone else.
But knowing Gabe, I
Oh,
can't
good.
tell if it's
That's why you're
intentional or
laughing.
accidental.
No, it's not. Not intentional.
In that case, I'm sorry.
I like the timing though.
Yeah.
It's not intentional. The internet.
I like you
is
slowing down
bad.
your speech to try and make it in the gaps.
Yeah.
It's kind of working.
Yes.
Is Gabe high right now?
Good. Always.
I don't know.
Welcome to the Semi Perfect Podcast, where you get quality audio
Yeah.
content.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll jump into, like we said, we have our kind of list of topics we're going to discuss, but I'm curious if anybody has any other stories that they want to dive into from the last 2 weeks.
Well,
I wish I.
I
would
have a story. It
put
was
two
a
and two
great
together.
story.
Oh, I'll let Gabe go first.
No, I was just being. If you can't hear me, I was just being funny. It doesn't matter. I don't really have a great story.
Oh,
And that came through crystal clear.
Oh.
that's all we got.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Wow. I know it was very fun. Hallelujah. I had fun. We had fun. The end.
Nice.
Very good. Very good. Hero Paleo, you guys have any stories from the last 2 weeks?
Work.
Work.
I
I'm
met
doing work right
Hero's
now.
cat.
You met Hero's cat.
Yeah. Yeah, before we traveled to MomoCon, I went over to his house to stay the night and met his cat. She's very tiny and fluffy.
I'm very social.
The way Hero says it sounds so excited about it. Social.
Oh, so okay.
She's got a lot to say. I hear her chatting on Discord.
Yes, she chats on Discord.
What about Laura or Saber? Last 2 weeks, any side stories?
Man,
Like, are we not saying Hawaii things and also not saying MomoCon things?
We'll talk
Yeah.
about both of those things coming up.
Okay, so then aside from both of those things, literally nothing.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, let's talk about the trip then. So May was such a busy month. Laura and I went out to Hawaii with her family. We're out there for how long was it, hon? No, we went to Disneyland first.
Yeah, we were in Hawaii for a week, and we went to Disneyland for like 3 days before we left for Hawaii.
You guys.
We had to go have a pre-vacation before going on our main vacation.
We hung out with you
Hey,
guys.
after 3 days at Disneyland, you need a vacation.
And let me tell you, that's exactly what happened. The cocktail in my hand, I bore that plane. I said, "Get me the fuck out of here!"
That's true. I saw him do it.
What is this, Old Time Saber?
It's fancy sailor.
We actually saw a couple of our friends at
Yeah, we saw Casey and Henry,
yeah,
and then
the
we
newlyweds.
saw those other people who may or may not be here.
PanamaMatt and Black Griffin.
Yeah.
No, we saw Race and Sarah. We all got drinks and snacks at the Tiki
Trader
Bar
Stairs.
Traders.
That's a lovely place for a drink.
Oh, it was great. That was
No, we went
also,
to the bowling alley, didn't we? First.
We did both.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
happened to be there at the
And
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Tony and Shayla were there too.
Yeah.
And it was nice because like the weather for all 3 days, I got to rock my hoodie out all 3 days, no problem.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot colder than I was anticipating, so I didn't really pack properly. So I was just like, I wore the same pair of jeans every day.
Yeah, keep that on the down low. We're trying to convince the rest of the world that we have perpetually perfect climate.
See, that's what I thought, and then I didn't pack properly.
It's about to
You
get
lied to
warm.
me, Matt.
I said nothing.
Nice to see. So we went there. We did the rides. I did the credit coaster with Laura. That was
Yep.
that was exciting. But though
You never do it with us.
when I say, "Hey, let's go on a roller coaster," you always roll over and say, "Not now. I'm tired." You know. So sorry, but yeah, it was fun. We had a good time, and then we got on the plane and flew out to Hawaii, and then did an assortment of activities and spent a stupid amount of money for an island. But we did things like we snorkeled. We went to this cat sanctuary, which Laura, I had all these wonderful photos of Laura being surrounded by like 30 cats, but my camera decided to clean out the cache of like memory or whatever, which sucked.
You can restore that if you haven't put new pictures on it.
Totally, Gabe. But like,
Aw.
what'd you say, Gabe? Oh, he's typing it.
You can restore the photos if you haven't replaced the video. That you haven't replaced them with other pictures.
I just know he's trying to speak to me. I know it.
Really cute, but I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, boy. But I know
Like something happened that like it deleted everything off of his camera except for like the newer stuff. It was like after it was that date and before everything was just gone. It was weird.
Yeah, it was dumb, unfortunately. But yeah, Laura, the cat sanctuary, that was like a highlight, right?
That was like that was one of my favorite things that we did. And the other thing that I really liked was we went to Mauna Kea, which is the tallest point in Hawaii. It's like the tallest, like the summit of the volcano that like where all the observatories and stuff are, which was really cool because that's something that I've always wanted to see. So like that's where like Keck is, and there's like the University of Hawaii's telescope is there, and like different countries also have telescopes there, and it's just there's so much stuff because that's
Did
like
you
one
go
of
to
the
the top
best
of Keck?
places on Earth to observe the night sky.
Nice.
Yeah, so we got
Plenty
to
dark
go
out
up
there, isn't
there. What's that?
Plenty dark out there.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. So we got to go all the way to the top. Well, as close to the top as we were allowed to get because we're not native Hawaiians. Because there's like an other part of the summit that's like they use exclusively for this weird ritual, which we can tell a story about later if people are so inclined to hear about it.
Did you participate?
No,
we're not allowed to.
Also, we don't have the means. Well, now I feel like we should tell the story, hon.
Yeah, we'll tell the story. So So I guess for the record, we went like what was 16,000 feet in the air?
No, it was like
13,000.
Oh.
you know maybe it was like it was somewhere between like 13 and 16. You're right.
Yeah, but it was. Well, Gabe,
Gabe's trying.
as someone who's been on the top of said mountain, it seemed like it was at least 7 feet tall. But no, we went up there. It's really cool because like as you travel up the mountain, like you start seeing the surroundings change, where the trees disappear, and it looks like you're on the surface of Mars. And we were told that they even brought some rovers up there to test it out, and like
yeah, they did. They also said that the astronauts before they went to the moon, they went to that mountain and tested out the suits, like by just like kind of rolling around on the rocks because it's like the closest thing we have. So they were like, "Oh, let's just wrestle each other on these rocks because it's like putting these suits through as much testing as
I have to
we
go
can."
because I have to record. I might try to come in later.
Okay.
See, Gabe.
Take care, Gabe. Good talking.
Why?
Okay, yeah, I'll try to come.
Sure,
Back in later, but I gotta go for now.
We'll help
Love
you with
you.
it as best as we can.
We love you, Game.
I love
That was great.
You're a delight.
He
He
loves.
said, "I have to go come," and he cut off.
Yes. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.
So on our way up, because we it was a pretty intimate encounter because there was like 2 vans with like 12 people in each van, and they were like. The guy was really cool. He's like an Air Force guy in his like mid-30s, really enthusiastic but chilled. And he's like, "Yeah, make sure to drink lots of water. Talk about the height and the altitude sickness isn't really a thing." And I was getting nervous going up the mountain. I'm like, "I'm gonna die. I'm gonna pass out," which I almost did pass out. Because you get up there, it's like the air's so thin and your body's in like overdrive to process the oxygen or lack thereof, I guess. And but the view was like from a dream. You can see the shadow of the mountain across the ocean. It was.
Are you sure that wasn't the lack of oxygen?
Maybe it was. All I know is that both Lauren, her twin sister, and her other third sister, and I were so happy. They had tentacles crawling out of them. It was beautiful. But it was great. Beautiful. I have pictures on. I'll have to share them with y'all. But that ritual. So we were told that the highest place on the mountain. There's like this other little peak that's nearby the peak where like the observatories are.
Like you can see it from where we were. Yeah,
and there's a shrine up there. And nearby there's like I guess this sacred pond or lake or something like that. Or I'd imagine more of a pond. And the guide was like, "Yeah, so only the natives are allowed to go up there, and like it's off limits to everybody else. And that like part of their ritual is like if they have a baby, they'll take the umbilical cord and then toss it into the pond or something like that." And how I guess because I guess the Hawaiian religion is like they believe or they're go for it
with a little bit more.
No, go for it. Go for it.
So in like ancient Hawaiian culture, like there's something about how like the sky is like this god is the god of whatever, and like the Earth is like a goddess, and then the mountain that we were on, Mauna Kea, is supposed to be like the connection between like the heavens and the earth, and it's supposed to be like their first child, like that's the connection between the two of them, and it's like supposed to represent the umbilical cord of their child. So then they're like, "Oh, we need to, whenever you have a kid, you're supposed to take the umbilical cord of, your kid and take it all the way up the mountain and throw it in the pond as like a sort of like ceremonial thing." And you're thinking like, okay, that's a weird thing that like ancient Hawaiians did. That's interesting. But no, they still do that. Like modern people do this today.
It's wild. And I'm pretty certain that I saw a bunch of stem cell scientists creeping around the mountain looking for said pond.
And I don't want to be like rude or anything, so I shouldn't be like, "Oh, that's crazy," because it's like, you do what your culture is. It's just like for someone as an outsider, it's like that's like, huh? That's not something I would think like modern people would do. Like that's interesting.
I think it's because their culture means a lot to them and their heritage. And I respect that, and it's
absolutely.
Wasn't there an interview with Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt when they were doing like their press tour for Passengers, and Jennifer Lawrence was like talking about that exact same thing, but she was being like incredibly disrespectful about it.
What? No, I had no idea.
Lawrence
Yeah.
doesn't sound very delightful because I remember one time, like there was a story about how she was doing like this press thingy, and like one of the guys in the audience was like looking at his phone while asking questions because I guess the phone she screamed at him.
She was translating because like
it was
his first language.
Yeah, that wasn't his first language. He was using the phone to translate, but then she just assumed that he was like not listening, and she's like, "Hey, get off your phone! Like, you should be paying attention. You're being rude." And the guy's like, "He's like, what the hell are you talking about?" Like, well, I guess he didn't say it in perfect English, but yeah, but he was using the phone to translate. Jennifer Lawrence doesn't sound very nice. That being said, though,
Hawaii is very nice.
Hawaii is very nice. We
Good
went snorkeling to 2 different locations. It was gorgeous.
Laura, Steven loved the snorkeling. I hated it because I'm afraid of the ocean, and it was also very cold, which made me extra uncomfortable. And I also felt like kind of pressured because it was like, oh, if I don't do it now, when am I ever going to be able to do it? So it was like all these things, and I'm like, I'm just really uncomfortable and nervous.
Oh.
I'm
told
glad
her-
you were pressured into doing it.
Right?
Yeah.
I hated it, but I'm glad that Steven liked it because then I got to like hang out on the beach and watch like him snorkel and watch my mom snorkel, and they were all having a good time. So that was fun.
It was a blast. I loved it. I truly loved it. It's again like such an alien feeling to like swim out in the water and be surrounded by all these animals and the wildlife. And I was surprised at how like little fear I had going out there. But like, because I can do a coral reef, which is funny because that's where most of life is. So if you're going to get attacked by anything, it's going to probably be there. But if someone dropped me in the middle of the ocean where I can't see the bottom, I'd be like, get me the fuck out of this. Like, no.
I can relate to that though. Like I feel the same way where I'm like, oh yeah, this every now and then like I start thinking like, oh man, what if there's something deep? And then I psych myself out and start swimming close to like nothing. But yeah, like deep water, like this will sound weird, but having been on as many cruises as I've been on, I've had plenty of moments where I'm just like, what if right now I just fell in the water? Like, what would I do? How would I
Never be heard
survive?
from again.
Probably.
Well, that's scary because, like, I mean, for me, I'm talking about if I was in a boat jumping out and the boat's not going anywhere, like, I'd still be freaked out. But if I fell off a cruise boat and that thing just left me, I'd be like, well, I'm dead. Like,
Imagine doing it in the middle of the night. It's dark. You just see the lights getting smaller and smaller.
At that point, you just, like, I guess you hold on for a bit, and that I don't know. It's really nightmare shit, man. Like,
Yeah, really.
Let me go to a happy topic.
Yeah. Let's
We went to this island that had a cat sanctuary, and it's
Bunch
like
of
just a
dead
big old cat rescue.
Did it smell?
What's that?
Did it smell?
No, I don't think it did.
It's like
They were like pretty good at keeping it clean and everything, and it was nice. There was like, I think they said they had what, like over 600 cats or something.
like 620 or something like that, and they're all
And they
new
had
and
like
spayed.
an area, like a general like area for the cats, and you could go in and they give you like a bag of treats, and you can walk in, and the cats like know that you have a bag of treats. So as soon as you open the door and walk in, they're like, "Yo, what's up?" And they like come over to you and are like rubbing up against your legs and like meowing at you and trying to get pets and trying to get treats, and they're all really sweet.
There's also like
And you can like walk around and see all of them.
kitten section and the old
They had a
cat
kitten section, and they had a senior cats section. And the senior cats were like the most affectionate cats I've ever met. They were just like, I walked in and I sat down, and like one of them was immediately just on my lap, and I was just petting it, and then like it was like, okay, I'm gonna get up now, and it walked away, and then immediately after it got up, another one was like, all right, it's my turn now, I'm gonna sit on your lap. It was really cute.
No, there were cats and chickens all over different islands, and
That's true.
I was surprised. I talked to one of the tour guides, and I was like, "So, what's like the largest land predator on Hawaii?" So I'm expecting, because I'm curious. I'm like, is there like a large cat, like a mountain lion, or some kind of like larger predator? And they're like, "Nope, house cats are the largest predators, land predators in the island."
Yeah.
And we saw a mongoose. So there are mongooses on the island, which is funny
Oh, yes,
because
we did.
Which is also a predator, but
Yeah.
smaller than a cat.
it is small.
Well, what happened was they I think someone like accidentally brought rats over, and then so they were
Rats
like, okay,
always show up when humans go anywhere. They're go. I'm sorry,
What?
but the rats when the settlers were leaving to go like check out other places, it's like two things are guaranteed: rats and disease. And it's like, let's. I'm surprised it was just rats, actually. Okay, so yeah, rats. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, so then they brought rats over, and then they're like, "Oh crap! Well, we have all these rats now. Okay, well, let's bring mongooses. I don't know. Let's bring them over to get rid of the rats." But then, like, the massive oversight on that was that rats are nocturnal, and mongooses or mongoose or whatever are not. So they didn't ever attack them and eat them. They just kind of ignored them because they weren't awake when the mongooses were awake.
They coexisted.
Basically.
Perfect.
Yeah, Hawaii is a very unique environment, and the Hawaiian, people and their government, they have an attitude of keeping things clean and sustainable, which I appreciate. But yeah, we saw Pearl Harbor, we saw the Arizona, the Missouri, we saw
not the visitor center, but like the memorial building was closed. I think they like refurbishing it or something.
Yeah.
So like normally you would take a boat out to like the memorial building and like be able to look at all like the pictures and see like the wall of names of people who were on
It is one of the most solemn places you can go to. Everyone's chatting on the boat. The second you hit that dock, it just goes quiet.
Well,
yeah.
Good. It should. Like that's that's as close as it gets to sacred ground, I suppose.
If you get
we
the opportunity,
didn't get to go on it.
If you get the
We had to
opportunity
like.
to go back, go.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all I was going to say. Is if you get the opportunity to go back, make it a point to go there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is eerie.
We still did like the boat trip. Like we just went out and then came right back in because it was closed.
Yeah, it was neat seeing it all, like from a historical point of view. Like, wow, this is where it all happened. Also, there's a lot of Japanese people in Hawaii.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like a ton. They it surprised me at first, but then I learned that it's well, they're just as far away from Hawaii as we are, so like it makes sense. And like a lot of the island is like catered for their language and stuff. It's cool. I like getting out into the world and seeing stuff, and Hawaii was a good experience. I also got laughed at by a bunch of natives who were like, this guy can't park a car. We had a rental, I couldn't park it. And they're like pointing at me. And I was like,
that's universal. That's not just Hawaiians. That's universal.
We all laugh at you, Saber.
But it stung extra hard because I'm like the odd one out. So, but it was.
To be fair, it was like
to a
a really big Jeep.
Yeah. What was it?
Did you do a luau?
No, they were like stupid expensive. What was it, like $140 per person or something like that?
That is.
What was the
pricey.
question? I'm sorry, I didn't
Did you guys
hear
go
it.
to a luau?
Oh well, we didn't go to one. The one at the resort was like $140 a person, and that didn't include drinks at all.
Yeehaw.
So it was like just for the show and for food. And then like we didn't really look into it elsewhere, so we kind of just bypassed the luau part.
Yeah, I think they're typically more things that you'll get reservations for in advance and probably get a better deal.
Yeah.
140 is a pricey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, anything else you want to share about Hawaii at all, hon?
I'm trying to think if there's any like other good stories. I mean, the resort was really cool. We stayed at the Disney's resort, the Aulani, and it was like really pretty. And we met Moana. That was pretty cool.
That was funny because we were like taking this like detour back to our room, and we just saw Moana hiding in these bushes, looking at people in the lazy river. It's not a joke. Like she's like squatting over and just staring through these branches, and it was so weird because
Was she peeing?
Yeah.
I think she was like trying to wave at people to be like kind of like, oh, look, it's Moana, whatever. But like we just walked by and she was just standing there. It's like, oh, okay.
It was weird because I was the first in line to bump into her, and I was like, oh, hi, Moana. And she's like, oh, hey, I was looking for my chicken or something. Trying to quickly get back in character after. It was just funny. But yeah, Hawaii was a good time. I enjoyed it.
She's been trying to escape for years, and they just won't let her go because so like Moana.
She's like actually like doing the boat thing, which is trying to escape in the water, and like there's like a Mickey Mouse like battleship.
They won't let me leave.
Get back to work, girl.
Well, cool.
We'll buy the island too.
It sounds Sounds like you guys had a good old time.
Yeah.
We did.
Now it's your turn. Tell us about Everfree.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
So obviously we were hoping to have a more connected Gabe. I noticed Scott's in the chat, by the way. So shout out to Scott. But yeah, as far as Everfree Northwest goes, you know, for those that don't know, the Hawaii vacation that Laura and Tabor were on is why they weren't around for Seattle, because you guys had that booked way in advance, and then dates came out, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But Gabe and his brother Nate were able to join us at Everfree, and kind of a newer type of con going experience especially for Gabe, and it went great. It was we had a great time. A lot of people may have noticed our accessibility. On top of that, just in general with the vlogs and whatnot. For anyone that has seen those, you may have noticed that we were able to get around quite a bit. So. Yeah, it was great. We got up there Thursday night. We grabbed our cookies from the DoubleTree.
Nice. Oh, sweet.
Gabe went to the wrong hotel.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yep, it does. So they ended up riding that ship. We went to Denny's. It took us an hour and a half to eat, and it was awesome. I got like the most expensive steak I could get at Denny's. So it was like $16.
Wow.
Nicely done.
Yeah, I was splurging. So anyways, yeah, Friday came around. We had a Bronies React panel on Friday. And yeah, just again, we were preparing for Who's Line, grabbing some effects and whatnot. What else happened on Friday, Sarah? Help me out here.
Yeah, I mean, Friday we had to pick up a lot of stuff for Who's Line.
Oh, I got root beer floats.
Got a keyboard.
I had to eat so usually I just eat enough for me. Yeah. But this time I'm like, no, I need to eat as much as if Saber were here too and eat his portion.
Oh no, how are you alive?
So it was a lot of fun. Again, the vlogs, you can check them out, and I know some of you in here have already seen a number of the vlogs, but Sarah, am I able to go over here for free?
I have watched the vlogs. I saw you and your interesting Denny's waiter.
Yeah. So the interesting Denny's waiter Saturday night, his name's Mr. Tony. We saw a glimpse.
And that's the actual name that's on the badge.
It literally says Mr. Tony on his badge.
Nice.
And yeah, he's just, happy-go-lucky guy who might be missing a few teeth, but by God, he's there to serve. And he had the most interesting way of asking for like food orders.
Yeah. Tell me stuff.
Love it.
Hey, tell me stuff. And then when you tell him, so you told him a few things.
I told him a few things, and he's like, one more. And because I was ordering just like the sides basically, so I was like, I'll get just ham and hash browns and bacon, and then he's like, one more. And so I said sausage, I guess. And he's like, I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. It was bizarre, but it was excellent. And then he was proud of us. Yeah. And of course, this was after a late night of concert. Before that was our Who's Line, 2 hours of Who's Line, which actually ended up, because we don't do a lot of 2-hour Who's Lines, but it went great. Like, can you hear that?
Yeah, the people can hear that.
Well, Sarah, how am I supposed to?
The people listening to the stream.
Everyone right now.
A blip of Friday part 2 of the Everfree.
What I'm doing is I was gonna scroll through and make sure I didn't miss anything because my memory is excellent. Yeah. So I'm like, stuff happened.
That's why he records stuff, because he doesn't remember.
Literally, everyone's like, "Wow, you still?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, yeah." But yeah, so Who's Line went really good. 2 hours of that. Nate on the piano. Gabe, Jesse Nowak, who we know as Noaking. He joined us. Eiley Monty joined us. We had Dusty and Full Papers hosting.
And just another shout out to Saber, who did all of the games. He set up all the stuff, and it was good.
Yeah, Saber.
I did my part.
It
I
was-
did my time.
Man,
I want out.
All right, you might hear something on the because it's. I know it's going to start playing here.
Yeah, I know. Get ready for some loud ACRacebest.
It's just going to be a moment of why is this taking so
No, because we got 50
Fix
million
it.
stuff going on
Fix
our
it,
computer
Sarah.
right now.
This is the worst. I see. I thought I'd be able to do. Anyways, I hate YouTube so much.
Mhm.
Can I just say that? Is
Yeah.
that cool?
I think you just did.
Is that still in season to declare?
It's
Like,
It will always be in
on
season.
I don't even know how to like get to the damn video anymore from my channel video. Like, I hate you. There it is.
Right, there
I
it is.
figured it
It's
out. I figured it out. And sorry about this excellent story. Sarah, tell us more about Everfree that you loved. Just
it
in
was a lot
general.
of fun. I enjoyed meeting people. There was a lot of people that we got to meet after our panels and stuff. And it was just really neat. And I actually, I usually don't do concerts, but I went to a good portion of the concert
Mhm.
for Gabe and Nate's set, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it was high energy. If you've never seen Gabe and his brother perform, you got to check it out.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
they
We
bring
did have
it.
a
They bring it.
semi-perfect. Yeah, we also had a semi-perfect podcast panel, and like for 90% of it, we talked about birds pooping on people.
oh
Nice.
yeah, that reminds me. I want to kind of rehash that story here because most of the people here haven't heard it. In regards to on the actual podcast, and I'll get into that in a moment.
So how
But
many more times are people going to hear blips of bugs?
probably like never again.
Uh-huh.
That's for sure.
Oh.
There's Mr. Tony. Yeah, I was just scrolling through. So I was also part of a panel. It was like a episode review panel thing. That was early Saturday. I had a battle, a guitar battle against Daniel Ingram.
Yeah.
By the way,
Mhm.
Nice. How'd that turn out?
I
You won.
should have won, but he cheated. So it happens.
What did he
Uh,
use?
How dare he use that musical skill he's cultivated so well?
You can beat me to it, Matt.
Yeah, that's essentially how he cheated. Yes, but yeah, I thought I had him too. I'm like, okay, that's the last time anyone's gonna hear weird audio show up. All right. So okay. Here's one thing I do want to mention. In the vendor hall, there was this vendor that had this thing where it would take. I've never seen this before, but it would take.
yes.
It was an OC creator,
Mhm.
and it would take like all the images on Derpy Brew,
Mhm.
and
Oh no.
and it would create OCs. It would learn how to
learning.
make OCs based off of pulling bits and pieces from other.
And it
combinations.
create its own OC, and they were just fabulous. And
They were selling these for like $2.
yeah, they
I love it.
could either print out stickers or buttons of these.
I was like, this is genius. All
Yeah.
the person has to do is say swipe here.
Yeah.
Like literally they were making
Yeah.
commissions,
Yeah.
but they didn't have to do anything.
They didn't.
Mad
Now, granted, they did
magnificent.
create the
Incredible.
They
program,
did.
so that's where they. But I was like, this is hilarious. So
Yeah.
yeah. I guess to finish it up though, Everfree Northwest once again was fantastic. I hope so much that we'll be back there next year. We had so much fun again doing with the Bronies Rack panel, of course, the Who's Line panel, our semi-perfect podcast panel. And of course, just seeing everybody, like we said, Eileen Monty was out there. Dusty, of course, was out there. Jesse was out there. And yeah, just seeing a lot of people, getting to meet a lot of you folks that watch the Semi-Perfect podcast. It was just a blast. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So, and I know Gabe and his brother had a fantastic time, and again, that was great to see Gabe, really being able to enjoy himself at a convention. So
Yeah.
that was cool. So yeah, I'm gonna X out of these just so.
Yes,
that.
thank you.
All right.
Yeah, so you opened all of those just to not do anything.
Bleh.
Yeah.
But he
Shush.
had the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So real
Holding a
quick,
cat.
I want to share this story because again, I know like Saber and Laura haven't heard the story. I don't think Matt's heard the story. Hero and Paleo haven't heard the story.
Yeah.
So, I told this on the Semi Perfect podcast panel, but on Mother's Day, I meant to tell this the last show.
Yeah.
On Mother's Day, my grandma came with my family. We all went to an aquarium and had a grand old time there.
Yeah.
And we had a really weird experience with a bird. And what happened was when we walked through the ticket gates, I saw this pigeon fly over my head and fly straight into the glass panel and fall right as someone's literally handing their ticket over. The pigeon falls right in front of them on the ground. And the guy looks down and then keeps walking.
That person is 100% going to be possessed by a demon in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I was like, right? And that wasn't the weird thing that happened with birds, but that was the predecessor.
Mhm.
So later we end up in a lorikeet. What do they call them? Bird
Aviary.
Aviary.
aviary. And I noticed, the first thing I noticed was this was the best smelling aviary I've ever been in, because again, birds poop
A lot.
a lot, and usually it smells, and I'm like, wow, it doesn't smell. And I
Yeah.
was wondering if it had to do with how they were feeding them. Everyone had these cups with like this liquid diet thing.
Nectar.
Sarah says, no, that's probably not the case.
Oh.
But then we walk over and there's like this,
I
like,
like how you always bring that up, like me being like, oh,
you're
probably not.
You're the bird expert. You said.
I'm not a bird expert. I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe they just are good at cleaning.
Do you like birds?
Yeah.
See, you're a bird expert. So anyways, we walk over and there's this like pagoda. That's what it's called, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
It's like a hut. It's basically a hut where they have like fruit laid out. And that's where all these birds are. There's like 100 birds here. And there's a lady standing there and she has all these birds just climbing on her. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, that was my first experience where I noticed one of these birds poop, but it was like a water gun. Like it just went. And at that point I realized, oh my God, I need to keep.
Yeah.
Well, as my sister and I are now observing this, we realize there's also birds on the top of the hut.
Mhm.
And their butts are facing the walkway.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God. And I noticed this these two ladies, one was older, and they're walking by this bird that looks like it's like really working something up. And Chelsea, who's my sister, and I are just like, oh my God. And they're walking slow. And in slow motion, I see this green stream just start to launch out of this bird. And it was a stream that probably went 6 feet and never like disconnected. So it was just like,
Yeah.
it's just going. and I'm just like, no. And I think maybe it'll miss until I see my grandmother all of a sudden go, ah! It got my grandmother
Right.
square in the face.
Oh,
And I lost it immediately. I nearly fell on the ground laughing so hard at my grandma.
Oh, poor-
And she's in her mid-90s, and that's what she gets to put up with at this stage in life. Is my sister and I both just losing it.
But then she asked you a question.
so this will tell a lot of people about my personality comes from. She looks at us, and you see this disappointed look in her eye as she's literally wiping bird crap out of her eye. And she goes, "You're laughing?" And we're like, "Yeah." And she's like, "But neither of you filmed it?" And actually, I was genuinely upset with myself. I'm like, had I had my camera with me, I would have known to be filming at that moment.
She should have power moved it and licked it off her face
Oh,
Yeah.
ew.
Saber.
You know,
without breaking eye contact.
here's the thing, though. It was her first time ever being pooped on by a bird.
Yeah.
So she got that experience.
Sorry.
On Mother's
Their
Day.
experience in her 90s.
By a bird.
Well, yeah. So anyways, that's that story. But yeah. So again, finishing up with Everfree, it was awesome. I had a blast. We had a blast.
Yeah.
And yeah, can't wait to Do it again.
Actually, it's funny that it's like a bird poop story. My sister is actually like has a genuine fear of like birds now because she has been pooped on twice by seagulls. Like once, I think it was just like on her shoulder or something, and the other one was like when she was like sitting outside while we were at the beach at the Jersey Shore, if you will. And it was like on her face as well. And it was just like, now she's just like, nope, I just won't do it with birds. Nope. If they're above me, I'm moving.
I don't trust birds ever when they're above me. I'm like, no.
I've never been pooped on by a wild bird. I've been pooped on by domestic birds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been bitten by domestic birds.
I've been bitten by both domestic and wild birds because a pelican bit me once.
Oh no!
Where?
Wow.
Where did it?
It
bite
was on
you?
the Oceanside Pier.
No, I mean like where did it bite you on your body?
Oh, my arm.
Were you like trying to feed it? Like here?
No, I was taking pictures of it.
Did you bite it back?
Yeah, did you bite it back? Did you break its neck with your jaw? I'll take that.
I've never been bitten by a bird, but my dad had an African gray who, like, if you messed with him, he'd probably bite your whole finger off. So, you know, I didn't touch him.
Not Saber. Gabe got rabies.
Yeah.
That's true.
Again?
Yeah. Oh god. So,
MomoCon.
I want to hear about MomoCon.
I've been talking a lot, so I want to hear Paleo and Hero talk about this and Laura as well.
Oh, well, I think, let's see, I think Jax got there first, and then, Hero and I arrived, the same day. We went to go see, Endgame, since, Hero hadn't seen it yet, and he had been, catching up with all the Marvel movies.
Mhm.
And we saw it in this, like, RPX theater, as part of the Regal Cinemas, chain, where it's like a big IMAX screen, but it's not in 3D, and it has, like, a big sound system. So that was cool. Then the next day, that's when Saber and Laura arrived, and we did the whale shark swim at the Georgia Aquarium. Yeah,
that was so cool.
I need to hear about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the people who went to the tank, myself, Paleo, and Jax, Laura filmed and watched. She was like part of our guest. She was the guest and family and friends part of the group. So like
I didn't want to do it because that's like my worst nightmare.
Yeah, Laura and our friend Neska went on like a B plot mission.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Because like we walked around the aquarium and like I was like, oh man, our friends are doing this like crazy cool adventure, and we're just like the B plot of the episode.
Well, I had a B plot last week, so come on. But the so I'll do a quick recap. So we went upstairs to the top floor where like the top of the tank is. Met with the aquarium staff. They do a little tutorial rundown. We got into our gear. They told us how we're going to go around the tank. There are rules like it's a slow swim. We're in like line. There's like give a partner. So there's like
don't make yourself look appetizing.
Yeah, right. Well, just for those who don't know, this surprises me. Whale sharks don't eat flesh like human flesh or any animals. But they're filter feeders.
They suck your soul.
They suck
Yeah. They're
dick.
dementors.
Yes.
Is that why the water was so cold?
Paleo, what other sharks are in there?
There's blacktip reef sharks, sandbar sharks. Let's see.
The
I
buzzsaw
think
one,
zebra
right?
sharks are in there.
I saw a
There was
big ass flying one.
What?
What are
That
they
was
called?
What?
Don't know.
I don't know. Continue.
Are you talking about the manta rays?
Yeah.
Oh, the majestic sea flap. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Flat flip, I like that. So yeah, it was gorgeous. The whale sharks, like the rule is so you don't swim away from like the dive group. You're doing a figure eight in like a line.
Yeah.
You can't kick when you swim. You don't even need to. They have life vest on. Can't touch them, but they can touch you, which is really cool because the whale shark bumped into Jack's plate on camera. There's actually a footage of
Oh my
it.
god, bumped like right into his face. It was great.
Yeah, its tail like slapped him slowly. Jax was like giddy as heck, doing thumbs up. I remember like 5 minutes into the swim, I was like looking for the whale sharks because my glass.
Hello?
He is no longer with us.
Massive 40-foot.
Can you
Oh, there he
repeat
is,
what you
okay.
said?
That was
Can you
weird.
repeat what you said the past like 10 seconds? Because
Sure.
you cut out.
So I saw that. So I was looking around the tank for the whale sharks because, like, you know, they kind of blur. My goggles were blurry, and all of a sudden I felt this bump behind me, and I just see this. I look down and you see a giant spotty whale shark just right below me coming through.
Yeah,
And,
they get really close.
oh, super close. They touch you.
Yeah.
Like they don't care that you're in there. They're just like other animals, whatever. And there's one part where I saw like 2 whale sharks and like 2 manta rays swimming right up on each other, passing me by, and it was just so humbling to see these massive creatures that are just like they just dwarf you. They're huge.
Mm-hmm.
The other sharks I didn't care about. Like, I mean, I cared about, but as in, like, I wasn't like, oh no, I'm scared. It was more of a cool. There they are.
Yeah, they were mostly down at the smaller animals were mostly down at the bottom. Like the big manta rays and the whale sharks. They were like circling around the surface.
And not like they would even care if you were close to them because like they're all well fed and even then like they don't eat humans, so why would they care unless you're in their fucking face? So really cool experience. A little bit disorienting. I got dizzy.
Yeah, about like halfway through, I felt a little uncomfortable because water was leaking into the nose of my mask since I had to get a prescription mask since both of my eyes have different prescriptions.
Oh, damn.
Apparently they did provide prescription masks, but I didn't know if they had like what I needed since both of my eyes are different.
I thought you brought your own.
I did.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but they told me that they do have like masks that they have prescriptions for.
That is pretty rad.
Yeah.
I've had dreams about ending up swimming in aquarium tanks and just being like, oh man. And when I saw pictures that you guys were posting when you were getting ready to do this, and I think someone shared a video before you guys ever ended up in the water, and I saw the whale shark, I was like, oh my gosh, I've officially hit like jealous mode. I'm like, I've had dreams, which usually turn into nightmares, by the way. But yeah, and Gabe and I actually were talking the other night, and we were both like, "So you jealous about this?" Yeah, me too. Okay, yeah.
No. It's not as expensive as I imagined it to be. It was like $240, which still not cheap, but like not like overly stupid expensive either. Like I thought it was a fair wage for like 35 minutes of being in that tank swimming around.
Oh wow,
With these
that's a lot of time.
one of a kind animals, like because you won't see these like usually. Well, I mean, I think the whale sharks are the only ones here in the world, or like in Georgia, like in captivity. And the other ones, like
there's some in a few Asian aquariums, but the only ones in the US.
So yeah, it was cool. It was really neat. I had a good time.
Nice.
I love it. That's cool.
And
So
the
then
MomoCon
what?
itself, like, you know, it's a big multi-genre convention down at the World Congress Center in Atlanta, near the CNN Center. We're kind of like in it. The buildings are connected.
Yeah.
And you know, it's Anime Con, it's a Western animation, video games, just nerd stuff in general.
Charles Martinet. The first panel that I went to with Hirosashii, the Charles Martinet panel, the voice of Mario, and he was fun. Huh?
Sorry, I said it's a him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the voice of Mario, Luigi.
That's so funny.
Wario, Waluigi. Apparently, also the voices of Peach and Bowser were there too.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah. Which I didn't know that.
It was a lot. Like a lot of people there. Like, gosh, what was I going to say? Tons of panels. It's very different compared to pony conventions, but still at its core kind of the same. And Laura, tell us about your Doki Doki Literature Club stuff.
I'm sorry, I just looked at because you sent me a thing of a teeny tiny kitten sitting on someone's foot, and I'm like recovering from that real quick. So hold on, it's really cute. I almost cried.
Oh.
At MomoCon, Dan Salvato was a guest, who is the sole creator of Doki Doki Literature Club, which is a video game that I love very, very much. Primarily for like the way it brings up the conversation of like depression and suicide, and it does it in a very mature way that's like, you know, very well represented, and it's like, whoa, you actually like bothered to do this correctly, unlike a lot of media that claims to do it correctly. But it was really cool because like I actually cosplay as one of the characters from that, and I got to do that and also get a picture with the guy and like talk to him a little bit, and I got him to sign something that I own that's like it's actually a shadow box made by the Paper Pony place, if any of you guys know them. But yeah, it was really cool, and I like went to his panel. It was really nice. He talked about like the making of the game and like how he came up with concepts and the characters and everything, and it was really interesting. So it was a good time with that kind of stuff.
Nice.
I also went to this panel, which is not Doki Doki Literature Club related, but it was a Japanese urban legends panel, which like it was like a late night, like Friday night panel that I went to by myself, but it was like really fun. It was these two women who have both lived in Japan, just like telling the stories that they heard from like people I knew or rumors or whatever. And one of the ones that I shared with everybody while we were at the convention was is a super spooky story about the this like samurai spirit that they say if you like see, and I think it was in Tokyo, but it was like you'll be walking alone at night in the city, you'll see this like ancient old samurai guy, and like he'll beckon to you, and you'll be like, oh, I have to follow him for whatever reason that you decide you have to follow this spooky ghost. So you follow him, and he beckons to you a couple more times, and then eventually he'll just like you'll stop, and he'll stop, and he'll just turn around, and his back is facing you, and then he'll pull his pants down and moon you, and in his butthole is an eyeball that's looking out at you.
Dude,
and
I
that's
swear,
the urban legend.
Japanese monsters are on a different level compared to
Sarah, I need you to check something for me.
Left hand turn.
Is there an eyeball? Do you see an eyeball?
No.
No?
news,
Are
Jeffrey,
you
you're
looking
not a
hard
good-
enough?
Good news, Jeffrey. You're not a ghost samurai.
All right.
Bad news, you have
And then
diarrhea.
in some versions of that urban legend, like because it's Japanese urban legends and everything has to kill you, it'll shoot a laser at you from the butthole eyeball, and that will kill you.
All right, this is kind of
I
on
was waiting
topic.
for the death to occur. Oh no.
This is kind of on topic, but
How?
Yeah, how?
Buttholes,
About to
obviously.
find out.
So I don't know how many people here still use Facebook, but Facebook likes to I guess like bring up memories and old posts and whatnot. And today my memory post was apparently I posted on Facebook asking if anyone had a cure for really bad diarrhea.
Well, did you discover it?
Bless you, Paleo.
How long ago was it?
Like 5, I think it was in 2011. So 8 years ago.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Did
Which
you ever find a cure?
Apparently not, because
It remains
I'll
a
be right
mystery.
back.
Damn, dude.
No, but I'm pretty sure it was someone hijacked my my Facebook. So
Sure.
I know that some of you guys were on panels as well and had an
Yeah.
interesting moment with that. Yeah. Tell us about it.
So we did this panel called Animation Showcase because there was a lot of people from like. I'm gonna see if I can explain this properly. So it's called the animation community, which Laura and I had a discussion about this in our drive.
Well, it's the
back.
cartoon community, right? Because animation would
Yeah.
imply that you guys are
I'm
animated.
sorry. I might have said that actually out loud. I was like, something's wrong. Cartoon community. Thank you.
Okay.
Which
I just want to make sure I wasn't.
No, you're right.
Okay.
So fuck, my brain was like, hold on, that doesn't sound right. So yeah, they call themselves a cartoon community, and which is kind of funny because like I don't know, well, whatever. I won't get the semantics of it, but they did a panel where and like two of our colleagues organized it, and the rest of us showed up. It was like I think it was like over like a dozen of us who were part of it, and the idea of the panel was there were like a handful of independent creator-driven like cartoons like pilots being created, and like 4 to 5, and there was like segments of the cartoon community would go on stage and talk about each special or each pilot or whatever, and then rotate in and out. It was a bit confusing, but like the heart was there, so I acknowledged that, and people seemed to have fun with it. But at the end, they brought us all up on stage, so it was like fucking Last Supper of cartoon community reviewers up there, and they're asking us questions, and one of the questions from the audience was, what cartoon got you into what you're doing, like with cartoon reviews and on YouTube? And there's a big long line of people, and it's like working its way down. And Paleo whispers to me like, "Hey, let's say My Little Pony together." To which my immediate reaction was, "Oh, we're gonna get so much shit for that, but who cares?" So yeah, folks are like
it was down the line. It was like Steamy Universe, Gravity Falls, Steamy Universe, Steamy Universe, Steamy Universe,
right.
like Legend of Korra.
Steamy Universe,
Gravity Falls.
and then Paleo and I were like, and you have people like, woo! And I think Jack's Blade was the one who's like the tip of the spear in our this reaction, but we got to it. My Little Pony, woo! The audience.
Yeah, it was like at least
People were
40%
jumping up.
Jack's Blade.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like I saw multiple people jump up in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It was surprising. Like Paleo and I had, like, you can see on the camera, like our shocked expressions. We're like, oh wow, cool.
Yeah.
And that was a warm reception. And also we had a My Little Pony panel called like Our Birdie Still Thing. Paleo organized
Yeah, that was fun.
So
they
are
are
still a thing?
Yes, unfortunately. No, we had like maybe like 30 people in the audience. It was nice. It was a good con. Had a YouTube panel. Did a Adventure Time panel. I did
a surprising amount of people showed up to the Adventure Time panel. I wasn't expecting that many people to show up to it.
I did a panel with Paleo, Jim, and Hero, and it was What the Hell Live to do that review series. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna do something like kind of like Riffing is Magic, where we rip on something in real time. So we got to the panel, like we were cutting it close because of like our schedule. Went to the panel room. Panel room was packed, like packed. I don't know how many folks were, like over 100 or 150 or something like that. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this can't be for me. There's no way. And I asked the people in the room, like, oh yeah, this is for the Saberspark panel. I'm like, oh my god, like cool, sweet, let's do it. Unfortunately, the acoustics in the room were really bad. The audio, not to be mean, but like, and I'm just gonna be straightforward. So when I do a panel, like I kind of want to do it the way I plan it out. So when random people show up and start talking on the panel, like some of the con staffers are sitting nearby, they kept talking like over the microphones, and I'm like, stop, please. Like that's it's this. You all weren't part of the panel. Like, I know it's all in good fun, but like I don't know. This it seems kind of rude. That being said,
who was doing that?
There were like 4 people who were part of the AV staff there, and like 2 of them were sitting off to the side because there were these weird pillars that kind of segmented the tables, like these pillars for the building, for the room that supported it. So like half.
Is this the same room as the What the Hell panel, or is this the same panel? Or
Yeah, same panel.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about your How to YouTube panel. I was like,
no,
what?
no, that was different. But yeah, I mean, we did a review of this movie called Donkey Alley, or the show, an episode of a show called Donkey Alley. It was terrible. Lots of singing, Christian animated show. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But all in all, great. You know, it was a fun experience. My roommate from college was there. Because we did a little
Yeah, that was
Q&A at the
interesting.
end. No, I knew he was coming because he messaged me saying, "Hey, I'm showing up." I'm like, "Oh, cool, see you there." But it was funny because I didn't see him in the Q&A line until the very end, and he's the guy who got me onto YouTube. Like, he actually was the one who showed me YouTube poops back in like 2007. And
That's how you got into YouTube.
yeah, like straight up, it was YouTube poops. And like my first favorite video, my first like video, are like these old Batman the Animated Series YouTube poops where they're like, the Batman! And I'm like, oh, it's the funniest shit ever. I want to do that. But yeah, it was a good con. Any other final? Oh, the cosplay is great. It was great. Good time.
Oh yeah. We did a Toon Clash panel with Cosmo and Jax. And
what really blew
and
my
Pan.
mind was when we were walking around the gaming hall, and Hirosashii was standing at the gaming cabinet doing his rhythm games, and this punk ass kid was just destroying the cabinet, and then he like he got a high score and looked at Hero and he said, "Beat that, old man." And Hero
Hero then proceeded to wreck face, I'm sure.
he pulled off his weighted training and it like hit the ground. The ground shook as his weights hit the ground.
Come
And
on.
it was like an old sensei walking up to the gaming cabinet. I joke, by the way. But Hero, you've been quiet. What your experience at the con?
I had a good time. I got really tired by the end of it. I was super ready to be in my own bed, but the time I was there was
Right.
super fun. Also, the panel I had the most fun with, legitimately, was Jackson and Katie's panel. That was just a fun panel. It was just
It was a
talk.
good
Just like,
time.
yeah, just shooting the poop, just talking about random poop.
Then you would have loved the semi-perfect podcast panel for 30 minutes.
Right. I don't know. It was fun. It was just basically talking with your friends, but it was like on a panel. I had a really good time at their panel. And then I got to play some rhythm games. The lines were hella long this year, though, so I don't play that much.
That sucks.
Always the best part of the con. Just talking with people, man. Talking is
Yeah.
fun.
hmm
I had a good time. Yes, would you like to say something, Lena?
I could hear
Okay,
Lena in
okay.
the background.
She's
such a good
talking
one.
over me.
Oh yeah, Sunday night we were looking up past cringy videos of
No.
old stuff. Like
No.
we
Grace-
found one of your old videos after you left
Uh-oh.
of you doing the attack on Fluttershy. Where
Well,
it was
to
like
be
crossover.
fair, that one's unlisted. But like, so my heart actually
Yeah.
dropped. We're in this room where it's like myself, Paleo, Laura, Jax, Hero. But there's also like other folks who aren't like super close friends, more of like, mutuals who we're still getting to know and whatnot.
Yeah, like Cosmo and Pan and Nesco were in there. A bunch of other people.
Salty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Cosmo mentioned this website called Wayback Machine. And it's a website that like actually shows your old YouTube pages as it was once was. Like you can see your banner and everything, like my old school banner from like 2011. You can see that, and I was starting to sweat because they made it sound like they could find the cringiest video I've ever made, which I deleted, where it's called like 300 Bronies, and like I legitimately thought they were going to find it. Fortunately, that video is beyond saving; it's gone forever.
I wouldn't count on that.
No, seriously, if someone finds that, I will.
I have like a small clip of it, but not the full thing.
Saber. Once
No,
it's
no.
on the internet, it will never go away.
Well, it's been like 8 years and no one's found it, so you tell me. And Jack's played.
Do you want someone to find it?
If they can find it, I'd be very surprised.
I want Jax to find the clip of you yelling.
Jax is lying. Jax is lying. I don't believe him for a second because he's been saying this for like 4 years. And I am like put your money where your mouth is. Jax. But
And then he uploads it and you're like, oh shit.
I'm dead. I delete my channel. But, but yeah, it was a good con. Good times.
Good. Very good. Well, we wish
You a Merry Christmas.
a Merry Christmas. We had something weird happen. I just want to point it out. It was weird because a
notification came up on our stream saying Missy had a super chat.
had a super chat, but then it never like went anywhere. So
we still love you, Missy.
we still love you.
Yeah, I don't see any
Yeah.
super chat in the.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It like the only one we see is cadets from earlier. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That was weird. It was weird that it like gave us the notification sound and it popped up on the screen, but then it didn't. Nothing happened. So,
Yeah.
like we said,
We still love you.
we still love you, Missy. All right. Well, Sarah, what do you say we get? Spoiler territory. Like we discussed, 2 episodes came out from My Little Pony, and we can talk about both of Derm. So the way this works for anyone that's new or anyone that needs a refresher, we're going to put up a spoiler screen. And
Missy said it was from Streamlabs, so we'll have to
what does that mean?
check that. It's another application, I think.
Oh,
So yeah, we'll have to check it out.
Oh.
Thank you, Missy.
okay. Do you know about this?
Yeah.
Okay, Sarah
Okay.
knows about this.
Sarah
Well,
knows about everything.
Thank you, Misi.
Thank
Thank you. So we have the spoiler screen up. If you don't want to hear spoilers from the last 2 episodes that aired from My Little Pony in America, then you can mute the stream, and then once you see the spoiler screen go away, it is safe to come in. We're probably going to move to another spoiler screen right after this one, if that's one that it'll be clear as to what we're discussing, which, basically just keep an eye out. If it says spoilers and you don't want to find out any spoilers for whatever it is, just wait, and then those will go away, and it's safe to come in. All right, so, Sarah, let's go.
All right, we first have an episode named Frenemies. In this episode, Gargoyle deploys his Legion of Doom on a mission to become allies, but his plan works a little too well, and they almost become friends.
Disgusting.
What did you all think of this episode?
Cozy
like
Glow's
it. I love
becoming
it.
my favorite villain.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say Cozy Glow?
Yeah, she's definitely becoming my favorite villain at an insane speed.
Yeah, she's kind of like a Darla Dimple. And
Straight up Darla.
yeah. I really liked the song that was in this episode.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was fun.
I didn't like it as much. I thought, I don't know, I mean, taste your own, right? But I listened to it and I was like,
I love
cup
the-
of tea.
The dynamic they have with
Mhm.
these 3 characters,
Yeah.
it's working so well. Cozy Glow, just in general as a character,
Power villain.
yeah, she's been interesting, but now I feel like it was kind of like an end game. No, but like a long-term goal with her ending up in this trio of why this is like, oh yes, this is wonderful. Because I agree, Cozy Glow is growing on me very quickly as well.
She's pretty great.
Well, she's a nice dynamic to it because you've got like, if it was a third villain who's also all powerful, like it would have been just too much. She adds a new element with the like her angle being like, I can deceive you all by being your friend. Also, like it's been said over and over, Darla Dimple, which like her and her Tyrek thing and the big and strong little pipsqueak. It's a good dynamic, and also Chrysalis doing her thing this episode with like how she like I actually laughed out loud where Tyrek when Tyrek and Chrysalis and Cozy were like laughing and being like palsy. Chrysalis is like ha 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 no. Because leading up to that, I'm like, oh god, don't tell me they're gonna become friends, like, because that's like a virus. To which she like said, like, it's a virus, and I was like, oh shit, they're on
disease.
Right?
You made our listeners go deaf.
Good. You have Tyrek.
Also,
who's
I think we're
Oh,
gonna
go
have
on.
another episode of everyone comparing Cozy Glow to Darla Dimple, and be like, "Oh wait, you guys know who Cozy Glow reminds me of? Is Darla Dimple from Cats Don't Dance?"
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that episode, or is that just me?
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah. I don't remember what episode it was, but I remember people
it was
saying
the
it in
finale.
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was when we were all doing an episode on the podcast where like everyone's like, "But wait, she really is reminiscent of Darla Dimple."
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I love that Tyrek is such like the old man, get off my lawn type of like
Yeah.
character. Chrysalis is like, I don't know. She's just like
I don't
kind
know.
of off the deep end.
Yeah.
And then
Please don't
you
be
got like
evil.
the sociopath of Cozy Glow who's just like, I get what I want.
Please don't redeem these characters. Let them be bad.
I fear they will.
Redeem them, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Especially with that no friendship is a disease kind of thing. They were close, and I'm like, uh-oh.
No, Grogar, I can see him tanking down because Pale and I talked about this actually with you, Hero, like yesterday, where like okay, before I get to it, I want another episode like this where we see the villains again. Like that was so much fun seeing the villains do their thing,
Mhm.
and there's only points towards the finale that will have to. This excites me. It'll be a villain, united group in the finale most likely, and I'm excited about that. But I want to see some history of Grogar. I want to see Grogar acting evil and seeing him combine his shit and get his plan moving, which I expect they'll do that. And then another episode with these three still sealing the deal of being comrades. So yeah, it's moving in a good direction right now. This is gonna be a fun finale. That being said, Paleo or Hero, one of you mentioned this a few days ago, where what would be the thing in the show, like a loss for Twilight that would make her snap? And Paleo said, Paleo, you there?
Yeah. I said what would be the most impactful on-screen death if it were to happen.
God,
And we
all
were
I
talking
want
about
is
that
one
because-
on-screen death. I don't care
Yeah,
who it is.
Yeah,
I
the
just
reason
want
we
it to be
brought it
on-screen
up.
death.
The reason we
Got
brought it up is because
Come, bro.
you brought that up, and I was like, Laura brought this up. So
Come on.
actually, the
Girl, you
conversation
know.
came from Laura.
Well, Paleo, you said Spike, and I couldn't agree more. Because they won't truly kill Spike on the show, but they could be something. I could totally see this where Grogar just has him completely outmatched, and it's the cliche of Spike's like Twilight, and he pushes her out of the way and gets blasted into stone, and maybe it's the idea of oh, he's dead, he's gone, and then Twilight just fucking going unhinged after that. Yeah, Spike, that's the answer. Pinky or Rainbow. Oh, I wish it was Rainbow, but Rainbow's dead. Grogar,
Yay.
we'll let you go this time, all right?
But no.
No. Spike, though, I can see Twilight just absolutely losing it in a bad way, where she might start destroying everything.
She just kills everyone.
That's how the series
discrimination.
ends.
Well, last night we were talking about this, Paleo here and I, and we're Twilight loses something very dear to her, and then she snaps, and everybody else has to try to stop, and I stop myself. I'm like, oh my god, it's the Game of Thrones finale.
I'm just imagining.
You know how happy.
I'm just imagining Twilight in the midst of this going nuts mode. She flies up to outer space, looks down at Earth, Ponyville, land, Equestria, and she's just looking at it, and she goes, "My little pony, my little pony," and just all of a sudden goes, "Friends," and starts in and holds that in. Start to glow, and you're like, "Oh my god, she's gonna do it!" And then it's everything explodes. It doesn't even end with music at the end. It's just the title cards come up.
Friendship is power.
It should end what was that? The Sopranos. It just also goes dark.
Yep.
Dark.
What were we talking about before this? The episode?
Frenemies, yeah.
How did we get here? Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Okay, so the three villains are like, oh, we're gonna have a bell and we'll do something against Grogar. I was like, Grogar is gonna kick y'all's ass no matter what. What are you doing?
Also,
we're gonna hide this bell right behind where we're standing.
Right? Why? Oh.
It wasn't even hidden. It was just kind
it was
of
just sitting there out in the open, hey, Cozy Glow, he doesn't see it. Oh, I know, Christmas, it's so funny.
Oh, what did you say?
It's like,
you said Chrysalis is an homage to some Dark Pillars character. What's the name of that show?
Walker Texas
Ranger?
Ranger?
You're like, oh, this has to be a nod to this character, and I forget what the name of the show that you said was, because she had a log that she was talking to.
Oh, Twin Peaks.
Oh, that's a Twin Peaks reference.
Peaks. What did I say?
You
Not
said
even
something
Dark
Pillars.
did Saber say Walker Texas Ranger?
Yeah. But it's
Twin
for
Peaks,
anyone
not-
out there who may have seen Twin Peaks, it's that has to be an homage to Margaret, the log lady, in Twin Peaks, because it's her whole thing is that she has a log that she talks to, and it talks to her, and it tells her things.
I honestly feel like whatever it was that they found, they're like, haha, watch it just be a thing where he's like, I'll make him go on this adventure for this thing that I actually don't need anymore.
Right.
And they're like, we got it. And he's like, okay.
Your loyalty was tested and you failed.
Okay, so was that mountain guarding pony like a reference to something? Because like
he had to be, right?
appeared, as soon as he appeared, we're just like, this has to be a reference to something. This seems really
Rusty was
specific. But I don't know.
Saber, I think Saber and I were talking about this character. How like he had that like whole thing like, oh, like when she's like, I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I love how unwavering he was though. He's like, nope, sorry.
Yeah, dude, he was tough. I liked how like Cozy Glow was like frustrated by this guy's like he was just like a fucking immovable object. Like you can't come through. Also that was fine out tear.
Well, he wasn't even doing it. The mountain was.
Well, yeah, but like
Why
still,
does the mountain even need a guard then?
to warn them? But yeah, overall good episode. Look forward to see what they do later in the season. What's the episode afterwards?
It's sweet and smoky.
Smoky.
So in this episode, when Spike and Fluttershy go with Smolder to the Dragonlands to help cheer up her sensitive brother, they find out that the dragon eggs aren't hatching.
Who didn't think? Was there anyone who didn't actually think that the brother was going to be who it was?
Gerbil.
Because like I'm like I know exactly what they're gonna do.
It was
I feel like I knew it, but I was really hoping that wasn't the case because like I hate him so much.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh, he's the brother.
Right, yeah.
I kind
of remind you that
Like they were really playing up the Spike, you're gonna love him.
He's so
sweet.
Yep.
Y'all are gonna get along so well. And I'm just like, mm-hmm. So yeah. It's one of those episodes where it's like, oh, the bully was the bullied the entire time. And I'm like, all right. Another one.
Yeah, did we
What did
justify?
everyone think about? Did everyone like this episode or dislike this episode? What do you all think?
I'm biased, so I liked it.
Okay.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was a decent episode. I enjoyed it. I felt like this was a very good application of Shy's inner strength. To talk and talk down a bully and be like, hey, what you're doing is messed up.
I enjoyed like the humor and what they did, but again, the moral feels kind of weird.
Yes, I agree
feel
with
like-
you 100%.
I feel like it's almost like that's why he's a bully. Okay, now that we understand our bully, now we don't feel so. I don't know. I'm just like, okay.
So like, what
Laura's got
kind of
the
bothered me,
opinions.
like obviously, I like the humor a lot. I liked the like Ember being not knowing how to be like a parent to eggs. But what bothered me was that like the ending was Garble being like, oh, you know what would like help if I just count on every single other person here to be a complete dick and actually do the thing that I really am passionate about, because I know that they're gonna straight up laugh in my face and that's gonna save our species.
and he was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happened. And it's like, oh, it's okay to laugh at people because they do something that you think is dumb as long as it saves the species. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess what they were trying to go for, although they definitely fell flat, is be yourself even if other people, hate on it because, I don't know, YOLO.
Yeah, it's again, like, I think it's funny because, like, I feel like if the thing that he was afraid of not succeeding at, or people not accepting, was him being a comedian, and therefore then made people laugh, I feel like, oh, how wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is kind of funny how he's like, but everyone's gonna laugh at me.
And they did.
And they did.
And like, yes, they are going to laugh at you because you're stupid.
You big
Oh
dumb.
my god.
I was waiting
playing the
for
bongos.
I was waiting
Please
for the
stop.
girl from a goofy or an extremely goofy movie to pop
Oh
out
my
and
God,
do some poetry
yes.
with him.
Fucking stop!
His His
Fun
beat poetry was ass. I was like, why is this so
Yeah,
bad?
it's very
I was like,
bad.
don't you write music on this show? Like,
Also, I told you guys at MomoCon, but like the absolute last thing that I wanted to see in like this season of My Little Pony was a redemption arc for Garble. Like, I don't care. Sorry.
Yeah.
But to
feel
be
like he-
fair, like I still did like a lot of stuff that was in the episode. It was just like a few things that I was like, I just don't want this to be the way it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
I think Fluttershy was the best part of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Fluttershy's like actually like there's continuity with her assertiveness.
Yeah, I
Like,
love
she's
that.
not like afraid of the dragons at all.
Yeah. And yeah, she was definitely the best part in the fact that she, was still pretty much like, yeah, man, you're like a bully. Stop doing it.
Can we just talk about like how dumb are the dragons though? Like, hey, the only way for our species to continue to survive are a few details, but we're not going to pass those on to the next person in charge of keeping.
No, they'll figure it out.
What about animal expert Fluttershy is like, oh, the eggs are shaking. They must be scared. It took Spike to be like, guys, the ground's fucking cold.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing for Fluttershy. Miss like animal documentary nature, craze.
She's the worst
they're
character in the
shaking.
show.
Oh yeah, they used like a season 1 face for her in the beginning.
Yes.
Of
the
like,
Rainbow Dash.
podium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird.
oh, speaking of faces, they had like 3 different shots of Ember, like this undershot of like her mouth or whatever that would make her mouth like the size of Tennessee. I'm like, what is this?
Tennessee. Nice.
Didn't she? What was her thing at the end? Where like she had her like, we declare you the guy who saved us.
She was like, yeah, you're the hero of the Dragonlands, and also please teach me how to write poetry.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
The end.
Still a bully.
Yep.
Good though. Then that means he wasn't redeemed. We actually, the
He
show
just
was
worked
inviting
out.
us to laugh at the bully. It was like, guys, or
He wasn't made like a villain though, because I think Garble, like, I don't know, I don't like him, and I mean that as a character where it's like, yeah, he's a bully, but there are some bully characters that I can work with, where it's like Kevin from Ed and Eddie. I think he's hilarious, but like Garble's like, no, you're just annoying and 2-dimensional. So this adds a little bit more depth to him, but like, I would need a few more episodes to get used to it, and that's the last fucking thing I want in the last season of My Little Pony.
God, no more Garble episodes.
So it's like, okay, Garble, go away. Like, it's always great seeing Ember and Smolder, but Garble, I'm like, oh god, here we go. And I'm not saying that the episode was bad. I enjoyed it. It just like, we're done here. Garble got his arc. We're good. See ya.
was I the only one who was expecting when like they were all blowing fire, saying like, oh my gosh, this is that like they were gonna find out that they were actually just cooking the eggs and then had breakfast.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
A bunch of fetuses jumping out. I don't know.
Actually, my biggest problem with the episode, I know it's like, this is my biggest problem with the episode, but it really just threw me off, is like, I told Laura about this, like the fire that they're breathing, it's just consistently a line. No matter how much they move their face, it's just a line. I was like, that looks really not good.
You should put lightsaber sound effects to them.
All right, so we've got a few.
Yeah, should we just go to Q&A right now? Or did you want to talk about?
Do we want to talk about in game, or do we want to wait until like next time?
Gosh, I mean,
I'm kind of thinking next time, just because we'll have more time. Like we had a lot of topics to go over in this one.
So shall we wait then?
Yeah,
Okay.
I say so.
Okay.
Like, it'll still be in theaters, so we're good. All right. Yeah, for anyone that is coming back in, we're done discussing spoilers, but we are going to be moving into Q&A right now. Just like MomoCon, we have 10 minutes, so we'll ask everybody.
Wasn't there a potential release of something that we were maybe gonna mention?
No. Shut up.
Never mind.
Just kidding. So while people kind of
Send in their questions.
get back in here, I was gonna hit on that, but
Okay.
people have been asking about Brony's React, and as far as like, hey, I got a comment on one of the vlogs
Mhm.
asking why I quit doing Brony's React.
Okay.
And it's a good question, and that's why I want to discuss here.
Yeah.
Is why did I quit? No, it's in the works. It's, to be honest, the Everfree Northwest vlogs took longer to edit than I anticipated, which ate into my next round of editing, which was the Brony's React, which I was working on before I even got to Everfree Northwest. I was editing it on the plane out there. My goal, what I was trying to do, I was aiming to get it out this weekend.
Mhm.
Until last minute, I think in the last like 3 or 4 days, Tommy and I picked up a show that's happening in Idaho, in like Meridian. And so I was like, oh crud, I'm not even gonna be like at home.
Yeah.
And yeah, so a low budget TV show ended up coming out of nowhere, and we found out that we were going to be doing it. So I'm going to be out of state this weekend, which means that I'm now looking at the following Saturday. So it is not this coming Saturday. Sarah, what would be the date of that? June 8th?
That would.
Is that right? June
Oh,
8th. I was right. So yeah, looking to do that. Looking to premiere style release again, as we've been doing with Brony's React. Probably have the bonus come out the next day or 2 days later. But yeah, so Brony's React is coming. It is for the premiere, and we do have a new face that's going to be on this one for the reacts. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you for all of your patiences.
yes.
So
All right, shall we get into questions?
let's do it. And we'll kind of gauge on how many questions we have. We'll go a little after 8 o'clock if our podcasters are good with it. Are you guys good with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
I can't
All
believe
right.
you even asked me. God, I'm leaving right now.
Laura, no, we need your opinion.
Are
No,
you actually-
I'm joking. I'm sorry.
Laura, no. But
I'm
that was
sorry.
me.
it was goofing.
No, I was goofing too. I counter goofed you. I uno'd you.
Whoa,
Or-
you got me. You got me so good with the goof.
Boom. I'm gonna check on Lamb quickly before go ahead and start talking about the Q&A, but I'm gonna fill up my water and check on Lamb quickly. So do your thing.
Okay.
Lammy, tell Lammy I love him.
Tell him I love him.
Yes.
Sarah, I want to just start with this one.
Okay.
Let's just go big or go home.
All right. So Aziel asks thoughts on Alabama bans on the episode of Arthur that features marriage of Mr. Ratburn and the special someone.
Yeah, he marries his sister in Alabama.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Alabama
Just
should get its shit together and not
Just
do
Alabama-
disappointed.
Alabama's the worst right now. Like, I'm sorry if you live in Alabama. I'm not trying to talk shit on you. But, like, your state really needs to calm down.
Yeah.
general.
What's up with southern states and like who can be hated the most? Let's pass bills that are super.
Oh, God. Like, just let people live their lives. It's not hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Live and
Jesus
let
Christ,
die.
It's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon. It was a sweet moment. And y'all are messing it up.
So
We
how
just should never show weddings on cartoons ever again because there's the implication that they had sex.
Oh,
Oh, God.
By the way, perfect topic to point out that I watched Brokeback
Married
Mountain.
people don't have sex.
I
Why did you
just
just interrupt them just for that?
It's called porn.
For the joke.
has anyone here seen Brokeback Mountain?
I wish.
I have not.
You wish. You do wish, Laura, because it yes.
It's on my list. I want to watch it.
So I only watched it because of that website that Paleo said, hey, you should join. The I Check Everything website where
Yeah.
I keep track of my movies, and because it has incentives to watch certain movies that are part of certain categories,
Mhm.
I was like, well, okay, I'll watch Brokeback Mountain with Sarah.
I
And what did you say?
was just like, eh.
No, you were like, that sounds gay.
No, I did not. Stop putting that on me. I was not, and I'm generally just not.
Sarah doesn't watch, like, it's like, Sarah.
I don't watch a lot of movies
lot of
that he
movies.
records.
No, so this was one. Hey,
To be fair, though, it does sound pretty gay.
no, I mean, it 100% is gay. Like, yeah. And what's funny, though, about it is that I was watching it by myself, sitting here in my living room, and I'm like, this is the part where Sarah gets redemption on me because of that one time where I forgot to notify her that someone was coming in to do maintenance. So I'm like sitting in my boxers on the couch, just so everyone has the full image.
Yeah.
Just sitting here watching this essentially like softcore gay porn.
Yeah.
Is Saber back? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
I'm back.
So I'm sitting there watching this softcore gay porn. And, in my boxers and realizing like, oh my gosh, at some point, like maintenance is going to walk in and be like, okay, that's cool. But it was just funny because like, I didn't know what to expect outside of like, I knew the premise of Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
But since I had to watch it by myself, I was like, all right, let's do this. And it's just not a lot happening with guitars playing. And then guys angrily kiss. That's kind of
So just
Heath
like
Ledger's
the
in that
West
movie, isn't
in
he?
general.
Heath Ledger and the
Jake
other
Gyllenhaal?
guy. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I always kind of wonder, like, in general, like, not just like for this, it kind of pops up because, I'm just thinking about like, okay, when these guys took the roles, were they like, okay, how many times do I kiss them? Okay. And how many times do I get naked with them? Okay. Like, I always wonder, like, is that stuff laid out, do you think, at the beginning of a movie when they, like, sign contracts for movies? Like, how many times do people have to kiss each other, get naked on screen? It must be.
Yeah, maybe.
I should become a Hollywood actor to find out.
Yeah.
I'll be in the sequel to Brokeback Mountain, and Saberspark will be my co-star.
Oh.
Stop reading my fan fiction. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
Has
I'm
anyone
glad that's
never written fan fiction? I'm just curious. Like, never once.
I've written a fanfic.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
D-Day
actually
fanfic.
written a fanfic. I've had like cool ideas that I think are cool, but
We
they're
never
probably
wrote
stupid.
one. Okay.
I started a fanfic.
Yeah.
And it was going to be so long that I never finished it. I don't even think I got past chapter 2.
Huh.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so
I'm gonna start
do we wanna
writing
go to
fan
this
fiction.
Do it.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Okay, alright, so we got a question from Soren. Did you know the Lion King
Sound crack.
soundtrack by Hans Zimmer got a legacy disc release, unlike the original release, which cut a lot out? This is the complete, full soundtrack in all of its glory, plus extras. Do you own it? If not, why? On Amazon right now for a great price.
It's a great soundtrack.
I did not know that.
It is a good soundtrack. I don't own it though, but I do have the original soundtrack. The why is because I
didn't
don't
know it existed.
Yeah. I am excited. I will say, probably the most excitement I have for the not sequel,
The remake.
for the remake is that Hans Zimmer's doing the music for it.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah,
He did.
again.
So
Wait, let me gauge the room real quick. How many of you are planning on seeing the Lion King remake when it comes out?
I mean, I probably
Yeah.
will because of my job. But if I was
Morbid curiosity.
don't lie. You want to see it, Saber.
No, I don't. I probably want to see Godzilla for the 18th time when that happened.
Oh, you're right. You're going to be in the middle of that.
Yeah, I see. So you guys are gonna give money to this cause that you don't want to support.
We might not.
Me and
Hey,
me and
I do
Reese, we
reviews.
That's
Saber,
true. Paleo's got a pretty good excuse.
So do I. So do I.
You did a review once in this year of a
I'm
current movie.
sorry. I've been busy.
Reese and I, we do double features, so we'll probably make it so that we don't give
Oh.
Lion King money.
Oh,
Thanks a
I
lot.
see what you're saying. Wink, wink.
Don't tell anybody. Yeah, like for example, what are we? Oh, yeah, we're gonna I think see Godzilla and Aladdin.
Yeah.
And we'll be
Tomorrow.
happy to
Nice.
let Godzilla
Have
reap
demands.
the benefits.
Thank you.
I was just
Because
gonna
they-
wait until until Aladdin and Lion King are both completely legal to stream online, of course.
Okay.
Oh.
You know, like totally legal means like Netflix
Yeah.
and Hulu and such.
Disney Plus,
And Disney
Disney
Plus.
Plus.
which will come out in November.
Yeah, definitely is what I'll wait for.
I see Scott is putting his input in with Aladdin. And he was saying that he thought they might make some decent updates, changes, or additions to the Aladdin soundtrack. And he's like, well, there was a good new song, but the changes they made to the old ones were
Terrible.
terrible.
Yeah.
Damn.
We
I'm looking
actually,
forward to seeing it.
Saber and I heard the new song because we were listening to like Disney playlist shuffle on Spotify or whatever, and the song was awesome. But like, if the rest of the movie sucks, then it sucks.
I saw that post that somebody made when before the movie came out. Disney, I think, put out like, oh, here's oh god, which one was it? Prince Ali.
Yeah.
And it was like part of that, and
Like
then somebody sped it up like 1.5 times, and
Yeah.
it was so much
Yep.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
Also
make that
remember that.
mistake?
I don't know. Just stupid.
Prince Ali,
Fabulous.
he
All right, so we've got. Should we do this one?
sure.
We got Oziel asking thoughts on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is getting a delay, and it's now on Valentine's Day after the character is getting a redesign.
That is
The
not long
perfect date
enough.
movie.
It's
still gonna
suck.
It's gonna suck.
Perfect
Like
date movie.
even without the model, just you can watch the trailer and
Yeah.
listen to the dialogue and be like, the movie's gonna be ass.
Wait,
Yeah.
what movie?
Sonic the
Sonic.
Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Also, to be completely honest, like delaying the movie because fans are complaining about the character model is
Mhm.
setting a standard for Hollywood that like, oh, if people are complaining about something, then you have to redo everything, which is
Can
like
we
not-
remake season 8 of Game
No.
of Thrones then?
yeah, like
to
that's
be
kind of what
fair,
I'm getting at. Is like it's like you can't just decide like, oh, the loud fans are unhappy with this thing, so
Mhm.
therefore we have to go back and redo it. It's like to some point you have to be like, okay, this is what we made and this is what it is, and like
I
Demo.
disagree to an extent.
I
Okay.
might be on Saber's thing, but
Case by
I'll-
case.
I think to an extent it's okay, but my issue is that it's starting the like expectation that like, oh, if we complain enough, they'll go back and change it.
Hold on. But here's my. These are completely different industries, and here I'm probably making way in a bit more on this. But like, for game developers, I saw someone talking about Sonic and how they're like, Paramount's like, we're gonna go back and fix it. We're sorry. And how people are like, well, game developers, you guys always say like, watch the way things are. You can't go back and fix things. Just deal with it. And like seeing Paramount do this with a movie, they're like, well, game developers, what do you all have to say about that? People, because there's this illusion that once something's set in motion, it can never be like slowed down or changed. Like it's just the destination's going to be, going no matter what. Like it's here's the deadline, deal with it. That being said, though, like I don't know, man, because that's a lot of power to put into an audience, and it could pull people's leash left and right. So it's a
Mhm.
bizarre. I feel like it's a case by case thing, or
Yeah.
perfectly they do it right the first time. So I don't know.
It's a late call, but here's where I kind of side with what Saber's saying, because I agree with you, Laura, in like the whole thing. Like, well, now are people going to feel like if they complain, they're going to get what they want? But
That's my concern.
at the same time, Hollywood has, for who knows how long, typically, I don't know if every movie's done this, but usually they do pre-screenings for this exact thing, so they can have people comment.
That's
like,
why the design of Creech and Monster Trucks was changed, and like
Really?
the original design of Creech is
I
fucking.
showed you.
terrifying.
I showed you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did they just not do any pre-screens for Sonic?
Maybe.
Or is
No,
it just,
he-
like,
or-
pre-screens
or-
without him like fully designed yet, and so it's like, yeah. So this, I mean, like,
envision him here.
Hold on, I was thinking about this today actually. So like, okay, I keep talking about it. So Godzilla, King of Monsters comes out tomorrow. The first one came out in 2014, so Godzilla went through quite the redesign compared to what he once was.
Mhm.
And I think it was a good one. Because, like, old school... I mean, Godzilla's gone through multiple changes throughout the years, but, like, this one was pretty big compared to, like, the other, like, versions of him, where, like, he's got more of a narrow snout. And, not narrow snout, it's a stubby snout. It's off the show pictures. But, like, I thought those were good changes. Compared to, like, you all see somebody recently made, like, they did the Sonic trailer all over again, but they actually made custom animation of Sonic.
Yeah, they made him look like a cartoon Sonic.
Even then, it looks better, but it's like the big takeaway from all of this is either there shouldn't have been a movie or fully animated altogether. Like, one or the other. Like, even though it looks cartoony, it still doesn't look that good with the other, like, live action shit. Which only proves the point that this was a cursed project from the get-go. And maybe that's why they made Sonic the way he looked in the original trailer. But that way it doesn't look too cartoony. Because, like, I compare the Godzilla things. If it was like, hey, let's make a Godzilla movie, but he looks like the old school 1954 Godzilla.
He looks like the rubber suit. It's just the rubber suit.
Yeah, rubber suit Godzilla. That would have been goofy as fuck. But, like, because changes and media, it goes through changes and shit like that. So I don't know.
I think it's been hinted at that Tyson Hess, who did a lot of like the Sonic, recent Sonic animations, is working on like the film for like the redo. But I don't know if it's confirmed. But
yeah. So just an update here. If you guys are good with it, we'll probably do 10 more minutes of questions. There's only, I think, about 5 left. So if we end before that, we'll end before that. Some of these I think are quick. Anime Guy 01 has a question asking, have any of you guys read the Percy Jackson books or its current 2 sequel series? Anyone?
Nope.
Weren't there movies?
There were movies.
I've watched, I think, 2 of the movies, and I don't remember a bit about them.
Same. There was a question for Gabe, but Waddles is asking thoughts on Disney's new release dates through 2027 that, as they put, that might include Zootopia 2. Who knows? Also, Race, are you looking forward to watch Zootopia again once Disney Plus launches? The answer to the last part is yes. So
he's just going to have it completely on repeat for like the rest of his life on Disney Plus.
I will. I probably will. Do you guys have any thoughts on the schedule release that came out?
I just want.
For like the different
original animated movies.
Yeah, we don't know the titles of like any of them yet, so we'll have to wait until D23. They'll probably reveal some.
Yeah.
Stop making sequels.
Yeah, so there's like the, I guess, wasn't it released? There was a trailer of the second Maleficent movie.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Why did that really warrant a sequel?
No.
Okay.
No, it was done. They told the whole story.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
now
what
they're
the
just
heck?
gonna continue.
But Angelina Jolie has to get naked.
Oh
Wait,
wait,
is she
that
actually?
happening in the movie? Because maybe I'm interested now.
I mean, there is a shot in it where it's like, oh, you're just wearing black paint.
Oh.
So here's
Well, in
that
that case.
Spies. So what's funny is like the Spies in the Disguise movie by Fox. Me and Race had seen like posters of it in the theater, and then after a while, we just haven't seen anything. We're just like, what happened to that movie?
Yeah,
And now I
was
see it
delayed,
on this
wasn't it?
list. Yeah, it's December 25th.
Isn't that another Will Smith movie?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't really have any, like, especially with like release schedules, I kind of crack up at them because they change. So
Yeah.
like to me it's like, okay, there's going to be a movie that might come on February 12th.
I just want to know what they are. Like,
Yeah.
it's so vague. It's like live action project, animated project, Pixar project.
Yeah.
Just give me gigantic, please.
Yes.
Cruella.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna do a Nimona movie. I've read that book and I like it, so hopefully they don't fuck it up.
Indiana Jones. Yeah. So, anyways, it'll be interesting to see what comes out. But again, as far as I'm concerned, I'm like you guys said, I'm more interested in knowing what they are. Like, that's cool. There's a date in 2025.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Avatar 3, Avatar 4, and Avatar 5.
Again, how much you want to bet each and every one of those Avatar dates move.
Yeah.
I don't want to bet anything because I know they will, and I would lose money.
Oh,
Oh.
shit. Avatar 3. Let me clear my schedule now.
Put it in your calendar.
Yeah. Fuck Avatar 2, I'm going right to Avatar 3.
All right. So as we scoot forward, Cadet asking, first and last time I will be at MLP MSP. I was about to ask why. Why will that be your last? Oh, I know why. Oh, here we go. Cadet's asking, any good food recommendations in Minneapolis?
I don't know what's there besides the Mall of America, and also what hotel the convention is going to be in this year.
Is this near
But-
the Mall of America? I don't even know that.
I don't know. When it first started, it was in that one that
Yes.
was where we could like just walk to it. But and the last year they had in 2016, it was moved to that other hotel because yeah. But I remember like me, you, and Saber, we went down the streets from the hotel to that one restaurant that smelled really bad.
Mhm.
It was that diner. You remember that?
The restaurant that did we drive there or walk?
No, we walked there from the hotel.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's where Saber.
Yeah, like you open the door and this just this weird smell.
Saber got like salad and he got upset because it had
Yeah.
celery.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, I'll be healthy, get a salad and have celery, and I was like, fucking garbage. I was so upset.
My boy hates celery.
Dude, honey,
I felt so
dude.
bad. I felt terrible. I pigged out. I think I had a
You had,
milkshake.
you had like chicken tendies and curly fries and a big
Yes.
milkshake, and I'm sitting there eating celery salad. I'm like, fuck me, dude.
we're trying to look it up.
Yeah, but the Mall of America has like everything.
Everything. It's got everything you can imagine.
Yeah, so you will not suffer. You'll find food. Although it's not like Minneapolis is also isn't really a place where I think of like, oh yeah, you got to get cheese curds type of thing. Like I don't know.
They're up there, but like that's more like a Milwaukee.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Chicago thing.
I don't know what their food specialty is. We'll look into that because we'll do a preview show when we're here.
Hot dish and shit like that.
Hot dish. Jessica, who we saw at Everfree Northwest, asking, what has been the best thing that's happened in 2019 so far?
2019?
Yeah, this year.
Oh.
What's been the best thing? Wow.
I mean,
Everybody's thinking.
it's been a rough year, man. I mean, going to Hawaii was a lot of fun and doing.
Yeah, it was
cool
pretty great.
life
Swimming
experiences.
with whale sharks.
It also was a lot of fun. This month was packed with all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah, this month alone had quite a few highlights.
Yeah, because I had Hawaii, which had multiple experiences. Then the whale sharks, MomoCon.
Met Dan Salvato.
Godzilla comes out tomorrow. I count that.
Oh, Endgame.
Endgame for this year. Yeah.
Endgame was great.
I think my best moment of 2019, and I'm gonna get a little sappy here, but for me, it was getting zarapes at Dario's.
Mm.
Yeah, they're like it's carne asada wrapped in this tortilla. And that was
Oh yeah,
good.
Lego Movie 2. I love Lego Movie 2.
I'll go the route that will make Jeremy feel bad for not really Tommy and Shayla's wedding.
He got married?
Yeah.
When?
What? Wow. My buddy
Best friend.
my buddy got married. The conventions have been great. Like it's hard to narrow down which one's been like the one. But I'm still like literally like the biggest.
Everfree?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
So yeah,
I
yeah,
enjoy
it's been good. Mr. Tony, really. Saber needs to meet Mr. Tony.
Mr. Tony.
Next year.
Did
Oh,
anyone
maybe my highlight should be that I got a real person job.
else? That's. I mean, it's a highlight now, but give it a few months.
Nope. Highlight of 2016 is me getting a job. No mistakes.
Yeah, and like by the end of this year, I'll still have health insurance. That's pretty cool.
That's always a plus.
And like I actually make enough money to like pay my bills and be like, hey, I'm not going to be in debt because I paid my rent.
I know, it's nice. That's good. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it. I like happiness. Anyone else with an answer to that one that we missed?
I'm sorry, what was the question? I'm still
Best
working.
thing that happened to you this year, Hero.
Aww.
Getting a cat?
My kitty cat's so
Aw.
wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's the one.
That was your
Yeah.
answer.
Getting my cat.
Yeah.
Yeah? What's up?
She loves you too, dude.
Aww.
She licked my hair for 5 minutes with Paleo Whisper.
Speaking of work, by the way, last of our two questions ago, Nora is asking a question for everyone. She says, I found a sewing machine at work that my company gave to me. My question is, what is the weirdest thing you've ever been given by your work or found at work? I love Nora's questions. They're always so like, here's the backstory, and now here's the question.
Here's the front story.
I was
I
given
have one.
a cookie
You
tin
go.
that was dressed up as a Zootopia tin.
I think I'm gonna one up one because one of your coworkers gave you a Grommet, as in Wallace and Gromit, like piggy bank, and we have it. We still have it. Yeah.
I get some weird stuff from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about
Saber.
you, Laura?
Oh, mine was that at my previous job, someone gave me like a big old hamster wheel, which was because he owned hamsters, but it was too big for them, and I own a chinchilla, and it was the right size for her. So, you know.
Okay.
What's the
Saber,
question?
Don't you have some weird lifeguard stories where you found something?
What was the question?
What's the weirdest thing you've been given at work or found at work?
And it's one of those things where I'm sure I have stories, but I just can't recall them off the top of my head. Paleo, you brought the lifeguard thing. Was there anything like rings any
I
bells?
don't remember. I know you told me about your stories when you were doing lifeguarding.
Did you ever
Yeah.
find a turd?
I mean, kids shit in the pool, and we found like dead animals and like spiders and like,
Didn't you find
possums.
like live animals too, like snakes and shit?
Yeah, it's sad because a lot of these animals fall into the pool. And it's just kind of a
Yikes.
pointless death. There's actually a little cool invention someone made where it's a little floaty ramp you put in the pool at night, and the animals can crawl out on it, like frogs and snakes and lizards and chipmunks. I
That's
actually
awesome.
I saved a chipmunk one time. It was a little skimmer basket. I pulled it out and I gave it fresh water, and it ran away.
How ungrateful.
But there's also things like at the bottom of the lid. You've got to be careful putting your fingers in those lids because there's black widows and like spiders and venomous shit that's just hanging at the top.
Ugh.
So like I hate that. I always use a stick. I'm like, I'm gonna put my fingers in there. I see the newbie guards and some of the old guards do that. I'm like, stupid. But yeah, giving me stuff. I mean, I think the most meaningful thing I was ever given was, so the long story short, there were this group of kids that gave me a hard time when I was lifeguarding. I was in my early 20s, and it was like right after college. I did it for like a year. So, whatever. So as is with most kids, when you are the authority figure, it's easy for them to rebel against you and make fun of you and just not listen. Well, my strategy was to befriend them, and it worked really well. And my last day of lifeguarding, actually, the kids ordered a pizza, and we all shared it. I gave them my lifeguard hat. And I gave them my lifeguard hat, and I said, take care, guys. Have a good life. And I never saw them again.
This pool's your now.
You're
now.
You're now.
This pool's yours now, Aziz. What pool does it belong to? It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility.
It's not a tangible thing, but after I got my surgery, my coworker sent me an email, said get better soon, and she just sent me a whole bunch of like pony images that like had get better soon and just some pony things. One of them said get better soon, Michael. I was like, that's not my name, but okay. I appreciate the gesture. But I was like, I looked at it, and damn if I didn't smile that morning. I really did. I was like, oh, thank you. That's really sweet. How the hell did you know I like ponies? Is my question.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like, when did you find that out?
Who have you told?
I had that Starlight and Applejack charm on my phone. Maybe that's how she knew.
Oh, the hints.
Detectives.
So I have kind of like two, but I'll go quick. So when I worked at Funrise, the toy design company, there was just one day where my manager was just like, hey, if you want to like go through this box and take whatever you want, like these are just dead samples of toys. And I was just like, okay. And so I was just like looking through, and there was like a little cute little kitchen set, and I was just like, yeah, I'll take this, and I put it on my desk for decoration, but I don't think I actually ever took it after I left work. I could have, but I decided not to. I'm like, I don't have any room for it. And the other one, I guess, from my recent job, it's nothing that I've been given, and it's nothing I've like ran into, but it's still a weird thing where we've been getting live shipments of bees into our office, and like the first day that they like came in, someone called and they're like, hey, so yeah, we live here and we actually work on a honey farm, so we're gonna have some queen bees come in. And I'm just like, okay. And he's like, yeah, they should be here on UPS, but like the box is like securely packaged and everything. So I'm like, okay. And I did take video and post it on Twitter like a while ago, and there was today more bees came in. I'm like, hey, it's bees.
Well, if anyone else has anything for that, if not, that is a wrap on the Semi-Perfect Podcast. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I know this one went a little late, so thanks for everyone for sticking in there. We'll be back in 2 weeks. That's June 12th. As a reminder, keep an eye open because there should be, unless something really weird happens, a Brony track that comes out in between that time. I'll be posting on Twitter about it.
Yeah.
It should be another live premiere to the season premiere. So we'll be back 2 weeks. June 12th is the date. It'll also be our preview show for MLP MSP, which will be just a few days after that. For MLP and MSP. But yeah, so with that, thank you to all of our viewers, our listeners, live and on delay, and podcasters. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Dim Ponies. And yes, Crazy Car Funrise, the toy company that made those spaghetti main pony plushies. Yes.
Where the fuck did Gabe go?
Yeah.
What the hell?
He left, and he actually said he was leaving.
Oh, screw him. All right, bye.
Good night.
Dim Ponies.
Mwah.
Hi, lady.